Welcome to episode 82 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast. I got that intro done.
Our numbers keep creeping up.
Well, yeah, when you do them every week, they go up by one.
I know. I just I can't believe you've been on this long, man.
What episode was it?
82.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like January Conroe.
It
Talked
was
about it the first time.
somewhere around January, because we had done an episode right before we went to Carpet Fest, which was in like February. So, yeah, episode 82. It's exciting.
Congratulations.
Get to 100, we'll have to do something big. Speaking of big, I've got some plans for October. So I don't want to say them yet because we're still in the works of getting everything ironed out. But October should be a very interesting month for the podcast.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. Maybe next month or next week I'll have it ironed out a little more. I'll be able to get some details on it.
It'll be a hot month.
Hint. But
I see what you did there, Robert. I see what you did.
So smart.
I'm a little slow on the uptake tonight.
It's be the hottest October ever.
Pretty much every night, but it's okay.
I feel good. I've got almost the next month and a half planned out. Like people lined up.
You being responsible and shit.
That was the best part about being at Herp's Conroe show and not vending a table, is I was able to go visit tables and be like, hey, do you want to do a podcast?
Mm-hmm.
So I lined up a lot of people.
And we also know people that were there that helped us line up people
Yes.
that weren't there, which was cool.
Yes. So that would be
It's not just Herp's people that we have on shows, guys.
Yeah.
Although it's probably
a lot,
80%.
mostly. But I mean, that's a lot of people. Texas is a big state. So, but yes, so pay attention for that. Also, make sure you go visit our Facebook page, the Reptile Gumbo podcast Facebook page, for our giveaway for this month. We got so caught up in last week's episode with Dr. Warren Booth and Dr. Travis Wyman, which I loved. All the episode was awesome. That I forgot to mention our giveaway. So remember to go check out our podcast page for our giveaway this week, which is sponsored by VivTech. You can win 2 VivTech LED UVB light bulbs of your choice shipped to your door for free. All you got to do is go to our podcast page. It's pinned at the top of the page. It says to comment. So just there's a question there. Answer the question. The fan that I brought in here just dropped. That's that noise. Go on there, answer that question, and then you're entered. That's all you got to do, and then you can win.
It's a minimum $140 value up to $180 value, depending on which lights you choose.
Yeah, and I can't win them.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I need 2 VivTech light bulbs, but you can win them. Speaking of winners, this weekend at Herp's Conroe, we got to give away our last, technically 2 months giveaway, which were all the tools from Best Exotics that were donated by the Grant Family Exotics. And Drew Schultz won from the
Learning Zoo.
I was going to say Learning Zoo, and I didn't want to mess it up. I'm really excited about going to the Learning Zoo. We got to do that soon because he's only an hour away.
Yeah.
I'm looking at weekends. We've got a few things left we've got to go get from Louisiana.
That's true.
Those are taking precedence over other things.
Yeah, my fish are still there.
But come October, we should start to have some free weekends.
So we go to the Learning Zoo. We got to go to the alligator park that's down here.
Yeah, that's 10 minutes from here.
Yeah, I want to go there.
I'm just waiting for it not to be so hot.
They're having will you be in town now for the Croc Fest they're having? Wasn't that like a New Orleans thing weekend or?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's in 2 weekends?
Yeah, it's Rachel's birthday weekend.
think so.
Which I think is already pretty full.
Well, we may still wait for the Croc Fest that night, and we'll do something on Sunday night, Friday night. I don't know, but that was one thing I knew you weren't going to be in town. I thought that'd be awesome to do.
Well, we're driving to Lafayette
On Sunday.
Oh,
evening.
that's right.
Because she's
You gotta get her tattoo
yeah.
because the original plan was to go to New Orleans.
Well, maybe we could make it a grown-ups only thing
We'll see.
Saturday night.
Robert with the natural look going on. I don't know what that means.
He doesn't have a computer. I have
Yeah.
the computer this week.
Yeah.
That's all I could figure. Because I thought as I opened my computer, I was like, man.
Like I literally have a note in my office that says take your computer home on Wednesdays.
Tuesday now.
Now it's Tuesdays. I need to change the note.
That's what.
Like I was shutting it down, going, okay, I don't need it for anything tonight.
I love it.
Oh, there's Gina. So yeah, so that's coming up. Got Drew one that was awesome, giving him those tools and all. So I was excited about that. I'm trying to think. Then our sponsors, Katie, you wanna?
I do. So if you are looking for a high quality PVC rack, look no further than Lone Star Reptile Racks. They offer a variety of sizes for all types of snakes, geckos, rats, and more. You can even order something custom. Shipping is available, or you can plan to pick up at a Herp's Reptile show near you. Visit lsreptileracks.com to reach out to Lone Star Reptile Racks and place your order today.
.com.
You want to hear the
James.
bad news?
What's the bad?
They have rescheduled that Croc Fest to next year.
Did they really?
Fuck.
Postponed until 2022.
Oh shit,
Damn, that sucks.
that does suck. Well, we still got to go out there and visit that place. I still want to go to the zoo. I haven't been to the Houston Zoo ever, and they just opened up that new South American exhibit, which means they're gonna have anacondas. So
Yep.
I still got to do. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we've got to do on top of all the herp shows and getting everything moved, and still trying to figure out how to survive in Texas. And apparently a hurricane that popped out of fucking nowhere.
Yep.
Like all of a sudden it was like, hey guys, you have a hurricane.
Yeah. I think it got up to 79.
Did you guys ever actually look at the path that it's followed? It went like it curved and then it like took a hard upturn and then a hard downturn. It looks drunk from
So
the
after
path.
Hurricane Harvey, nothing surprises me. Harvey came in around Corpus, went into Texas, went back out in the Gulf,
Yeah, that's right.
re-intensified, and then came back in around like Palacios, and then just sat here for 4 days.
This one
It's like
went up, and then it was like, oh wait,
I miss Lake
I
Charles.
miss Lake Charles.
Let me
We gotta
turn
fuck
back.
them up again,
Yeah.
and then went back
It
down.
was
Like,
Yeah, they're
ridiculous.
saying between New Orleans and Destin could be huge flooding this weekend.
Yeah,
Or this later this week.
yeah.
crazy. Global climate change isn't a thing. That's what Facebook told me.
Oh, okay.
One of y'all's got to pull up so we can see who these Facebook users are. It's normally I'm the
Oh,
one
I
that does
will.
that.
That's Katie. Katie can do that. Also, sponsors. If you're in the southeast area of Alabama, go by Ozark, Alabama. Visit Wiregrass Exotics. Visit the Ruas at Wiregrass Exotics. Get all your feeders taken care of there. Crickets, frozen rodents. I would imagine live rodents. All sorts of stuff. So if you're in that Southwest Georgia, Panhandle of Florida, that area, go to Ozark, Alabama, and visit. It's an awesome shop. They have hots there for you to check out. They're awesome people to sit there and talk to. I mean, you can spend all day there talking to Dallas and Amanda because they love talking to people. That's a joke. Anyways, also Herp's Reptile Shows.
They like talking to me.
They do. They do. Just don't be. They don't like. They're like us. They don't like talking to stupid people. So don't be a stupid person. But you're listening to this show, so you're not a stupid person. I'm pulling up the Herp show because I don't actually know the dates of the Herp Reptile
I
show.
got them right here.
Oh, see, look at that.
We don't have any more this month.
No, we're not till Beaumont, right?
Yeah, Beaumont is October 2nd and 3rd.
Woohoo!
And,
That's only an hour away from here.
and then 23rd and 24th is Temple,
How far is that? from
Texas, about 3 hours.
here? Okay,
And then the 30th and 31st is Amarillo.
like that. Did you enjoy that?
I have other obligations that weekend.
It doesn't matter. The obligations don't involve driving half a day to the other side of Texas.
And then it's all day. And then November 6th and 7th is Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah, that's actually a far show for us now.
And then nothing else in November.
And then before Christmas,
Slidell is.
And then we have 3 in a row. No, 2 in a row. Sorry. Austin and Slidell, the 4th and 5th and 11th and 12th.
yeah, as far as I know, Slidell's still a go, right?
Mm-hmm.
That hadn't been canceled. So if you want to get in your Christmas presents, Austin or Slidell, it's the last 2 shows in December. So you can get in your Christmas presents. Speaking of Christmas presents, Robert, y'all have been working on stuff over at Lone Star that is not rack related.
Correct.
And it's really, really cool. So you did pretty well this weekend with the non-rack related stuff.
Yeah, they really saved the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah.
All the signs and flags and stuff like that. Wooden flags, PVC and wooden signs. It's what Rachel's doing mostly.
Are y'all posting them over there on your Facebook page?
I have not. We're working on putting together a Facebook page for that as a separate business.
Gotcha. So
So,
pay attention. We'll get that up, and you definitely can contact Robert or Rachel about them. There's great like Halloween ones y'all have done.
mhm.
There was the margarita board for that had the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah.
It says I smell tequila.
Yep.
So I guess it's just a tequila board, but it could be margaritas. There was also, I'm assuming there's going to be Thanksgiving ones.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got
There'll
a
be
bunch
some,
of
I
stuff
know there's going
coming.
to be some Christmas ones coming.
Yep. It's great because, we only have to run the machine so much amount. I can only run it so much cutting racks.
Yeah.
This gives us the opportunity to keep it running and to do other things with it.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that. There's some really awesome signs. If you come to any of the Herp shows, you can see them. There are some great reptile themed signs, and then Halloween themed, like holiday themed ones. And then the ones you just did this past weekend, they did really well, which were the very patriotic. They were on like butcher block. You got a good deal on a giant piece of butcher block, but those were some really nice big wooden flags.
Yeah.
So yeah, do that. Pay attention to that. Speaking of wooden art, I want to go ahead and bring in our guest because what do you
I don't think I'm smart enough to figure out how this works because I haven't been on Facebook on my computer in months and they have completely changed the layout on me. So now I can't find anything. Like all I have to do is open our video and I should be able to see the comments, right?
You would think so.
You would think.
It's not. Okay.
Yeah.
Introduce our guests because I do love them. I'll figure this out.
All right. So I want to introduce our guests. They are from Crafty Gargoyles. It is Talena and Gonzo. Gonzo's still here.
Yay.
That's an inside joke. There was a fear that Gonzo may have to leave, but he's here and he's going to hate every minute of it. It's great. So how are y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing good. We were worried about that storm and fortunately didn't get anything out of it. So
It scooted around y'all.
Yes.
I looked at the map last night on its way here and I was like, it completely missed y'all and just headed straight for us.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much. I don't even think we got a full inch of rain and maybe 30 or 40 mile an hour winds. So it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I think I don't know what the gusts were around here, but I know last night at about 2:30 I was looking outside and rain was just shooting sideways.
Yeah.
Man, at least y'all got lucky. Y'all didn't get
It's
any.
rain sideways. Sorry.
We got very lucky.
When I got to Pasadena this morning, like the 5 blocks leading up to the shop were all without power. And I'm like, shit.
And you were
But the last stoplight before the shop was working and we had power. It had never lost power there.
There you go.
Yeah, because I had left.
because there's no way you're working there without air conditioning.
Well, that and the CNC machine requires electricity to run.
You get a bicycle and power that thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got lucky there, but it was just us, the cabinet builder, and the guys straight across, and they were out talking to me, and they were like, "Yeah, we work at like fire departments and stuff, and there's nothing for us to do today. I don't know why we're here." They stayed till 5 though. We left at the same time,
That's funny.
but I don't really know what they do. Never really asked them,
I
but
don't know what they do. I know that your business park has them. It's got a like gym that you have to lose weight because there's no air conditioning. It's 500 degrees, so
mhm.
no option but to lose weight. And then the barrel dude who gets like 5 million wooden barrels a week.
Yeah, they weren't there yesterday or today. I'm guessing they hunkered down or something.
So, anyways, back to our guest.
Yeah,
Talena and Gonzo. So the name is Crafty Gargoyles, which we'll get into that in a second. But I want to on the gargoyle part. I want to focus on the crafty part because we're talking about with Robert's new wood art with his CNC machine, which y'all have been doing some wood art for the last year and a half, and it's gotten really impressive.
mine's like finger paint. There's
Compared to theirs, yeah,
yeah.
yes.
Whatever, dude. I saw your stuff, man. Your stuff looks great.
Thank you. Well, we love your stuff. We have the pug mandala that you guys made for Logan. That he freaking loves that thing.
That's
The
Oh,
one he
for-
called the one he called you Gomez on the video when he opened it.
Gomez.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I sent him the video and he goes, "My name's Gonzo, by the way." I was like, "Did he call you Gomez?" I went back and looked and I was like, "Oh, he sure did."
Oh my gosh.
That works.
So
Gonzo,
funny.
Gomez, it's all the same.
It's all Mexicans. We're all the same.
I've realized living in this part of Texas that I definitely should have paid attention more in Spanish class.
Do you know what we celebrate? Well, what I'm going to get to celebrate this week?
What?
Mexican Independence Day is the 16th, which is Thursday. And my
Do- do-
coworkers
Do
were
you really get to
teaching me.
celebrate that?
My coworkers are teaching me all the things, and
Did
I'm
you guys
so
see
excited.
what Sean put up above the toilet in the herb shop?
No,
I did not.
Oh, it's a picture. If you've ever seen
Dumb and Dumber.
and seen
Oh,
the bathroom
I don't like
scene
that
from
movie.
Dumb and Dumber. How can you not? I know how you can like Dumb and Dumber. You don't see humor.
It's not my kind of humor.
You mean good? Yeah, I know.
That is great.
But it's the picture. It's the bathroom scene. If anybody remembers the bathroom scene,
I
from Dumb
do.
and Dumber.
I'm familiar with the
It's
picture.
one of the funniest scenes of any movie ever. Anyways, back to what we quit getting off topic.
I was learning about all the things. I was excited.
Learning about all the things.
Yep.
About all the Mexican things.
Yep.
That'll be interesting. But yes, I have 2 kids that don't speak English.
I'm excited.
I don't speak Spanish, so it's gonna be an interesting year. But
English. He doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, I'm a coconut, man. I'm brown, the outside, white on the inside.
One of my coworkers, so I didn't tell James about this because I knew he would laugh at me. One of my coworkers said I could be an honorary coconut by the end of the year, and I freaking loved it. I was like, I will work on my tan. It will be great.
Gonzo,
It was so
Gonzo, you go to like
fabulous.
Mexican restaurants, they start talking to you, and you have no idea what they're saying.
Oh, I have no clue. They look at me like I'm crazy too. And Hispanics talking to other Hispanics, when we don't know Spanish, they just get pissed. That's just the way it is. So yeah, they look at me real bad, and every now and then they'll call me a coconut. So
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Whatever. I always say everybody's got to be something.
There you go.
Why not be a coconut? So, how would y'all explain what y'all do art-wise? Because it's different. Like, because with Robert, it's the CNC machine cutting a piece of PVC or a piece of wood, a design into it, and painting it, and it's good. But what y'all do is when you see it, it's just so different.
I'll refer to the artist for that.
Hey, he always does that to me. So we've got a couple of laser engraved machines. And what we do is we actually cut out each individual layer. He's going to start showing you. I'm going to do a plug-in real quick. We are actually working on an exclusive piece, or actually exclusive pieces for Venom Life, if you can kind of see it. There we go.
Let's watch it on YouTube and on.
Oh, yeah, look at the
cool.
Venom Life.
Oh, that is awesome with the Venom Life logos. It almost looks like a really weird Iron Man logo.
Yeah,
I've never realized that until I see it now.
that's cool though.
But what we're doing is we're doing a run of 9. They're going to be signed, numbered. And so that's my plug-in. But what we do is when we cut, I design, each individual layer. And then after I do the design, we cut them out on the machine. Each layer individually. And then we take each layer and I either airbrush each layer or I stain it. And then we glue them together to create.
Oh, damn.
That will be
Katie,
the
look at that.
product.
That's freaking amazing.
I have it pulled up on my screen.
That airbrush is working out for you, huh,
Gorgeous,
Talena?
though.
It is. Thank you, Robert. I probably wouldn't have even started had you not go, oh, well, you should try this.
We were at a show 6-7 months ago, and I mentioned something about how we had bought that airbrush for Lily to use, which I don't think she's ever actually used. I use it more than anybody.
I've seen it at the house sitting
And,
there.
It's at the shop now.
Oh, okay.
And I was telling Talena about it, and I ended up sending her a link, and she ordered it. And the next show, she came up and hugged me, and she was like, "Thank you so much. That made things so much easier."
It does.
Yeah. So for those that are listening to the podcast, what you've got a picture is that. So they cut out a design in. I know I asked Gonzo how many layers was the deepest one. He said 11 at one point. Was your thickest one.
That's correct.
Yes.
So it's several layers, and when you put them on top, they almost look like geometric shapes. And when you put them on top of each other, you can see the different layers make a lizard, a dog. Like you have the pug one, like you said. They just showed the
A friend of mine bought the bear from them this weekend.
That bear was pretty cool. I saw that one.
Cody loves that thing. I bet he's
Yeah,
posted it on
Cody.
Facebook 20 times.
And then what you've done with the coloring of them, painting them makes them look even amazing. But the thing I find the most entertaining about all of that is that so you're spray painting or you're spraying them, painting them, and then you started selling basically the scrap, the part on the back that ended up you pulled it apart. It looks like art. Like that part is impressive.
So you're talking about that, and Brent has not seen this yet,
Or Chris, nobody
or
has.
Chris, but we've.
Oh man,
That is absolutely stunning.
Wow.
This will also be signed, and they're going to be. I don't know if they're selling it or auctioning it off.
They
but
don't even know about it yet.
They have not seen it, so that's something new.
that looks awesome. Yeah, so that just the idea that like you took something that you probably would have thrown away, you probably may have thrown away the first few, and then realized, oh wait, this is art, and those look amazing too, just as amazing as the wooden pieces that people are buying.
Well, when I started practicing painting them, and of course I just have this big scrap piece of wood that I put behind them, I started noticing a trend as I was painting. And so I think the first piece that we actually started painting was our rooster. And I put it down. I grabbed an artboard that I happen to have because my crafts are extremely expensive. And I just started spraying each layer as I would have done just to put them together. And he walked in a little bit after I got done, and I picked up and I says, "Look, honey." And he was like, "Oh my God, I'd have never ever thought."
Yeah.
And
It was a twofer.
yes,
It's awesome.
so,
Yep.
There was one this week, and I saw that it was a very like plain back, and then you had a chameleon on it, and the chameleon was painted all sorts of funky colors. Oh, that one was awesome.
chameleons are fun because with chameleons, so sorry. So with the chameleons, I can wing it with the colors because it's never wrong. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes, that is
you're
much
good.
better.
You're good.
But yeah, I can never go wrong with the chameleons. It's
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm always amazed every time I come to a show and I see one of them. It's just the way they look. Because I mean, it's very easy for someone to go and just cut a bear or to cut a lizard, but you're cutting 6 layers of a bear
Mhm.
and then painting them individually and then putting them together.
Do you sell these anywhere else other than the shows or just at the shows?
So we've been doing some market days. We're trying to get our website built so that people can order online. Currently, if you go to the website, it does have a link where you can see some of the pictures, some of the different artwork. But unfortunately, we can't keep up production to really have them for sale online yet.
Because you guys both work full-time jobs, right?
That's correct.
Well, he works full time. I actually work part time.
Ah.
But see, this is where everything gets better. And I know most people know this because, well, Lori can't keep a secret. But
See, I heard this weekend, so
yes,
I'm out of the loop. What has happened?
you haven't heard.
No.
I haven't either.
I'm going to retire next year and go full time Crafty Gargoyles.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
yeah, it's super awesome.
Yep.
So Tracy Renee is actually in the chat, and she just had a good point. She was like, if you did Canton, I bet.
I'm thinking about it.
God, I
So-
bet all your crafty stuff.
We talked to her about that, and that's one we're going to look into as well. We were told Canton, Fredericksburg, Galveston.
Larry's Old Time Trade Days out in Winnie's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard. quite-
Your wife and I may or may not have talked about possibly taking a trip to Canton.
Have fun. I ain't walking all that fun. That's something we're going to start doing is Lucas is going to start doing. I've already signed him up for 3 or 4 of them around here. We actually had a customer this weekend that bought that big We the People sign that I had,
Yeah.
and they bought the Second Amendment, the Defend the Second one. He's a Harris County Sheriff's deputy, and they are putting on a cornhole tournament for their Thin Blue Line Biker Club or law enforcement motorcycle club in next month, and they gave us a spot there. So Lucas is going to go. It's the same weekend as Temple, so I can't go, but Lucas is going to go do it. He's going to start doing all these around here because there's something every weekend around
There
here.
really is.
And he's going to start doing those, and just another way to get more stuff out there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
what we noticed looking around when we started looking into market days is a lot of them are all on the 3rd weekend of every month.
Right.
And that was a problem, obviously, whenever we had a conflict with Herps.
Right.
And now, with her being retired next year, we can still do market days, and one of us can go to the Herp shows, so we can continue doing that and keep moving around.
I'll be at the Herp show.
Yeah, she'll do the Herp. I'll get stuck doing market days outside in the heat. The fat guy gets the
So
We'll get you some good fans.
you'll have to start cutting more non-animal stuff. Those kind of things like the
I don't think
you
so.
do like the Star in the state of Texas. That stuff sells like crazy. I'm sure
Yeah, but everybody does it.
that's true.
I was about to say I would stick to the animals because that's what makes you stand out from everybody else.
The animals, and we've been doing a lot of nautical stuff. We live on
The
coast.
nautical stuff is just outstandingly gorgeous.
Thank you. So that's kind of what we're kind of tailoring to. But man, every show we get requests for a giraffe or just
A lion.
a lion, something out of the ordinary
Squirrels.
that's not reptile related.
Squirrels.
Yeah,
Yes.
we had a
Squirrels.
squirrel.
All right, so you need to do a squirrel.
Platypus, Todd.
So you do a squirrel, and then what Robert can do on a piece of wood is a recipe for how to cook squirrel, and you can just sell them together as a.
But really, some of our biggest selling stuff is the military stuff we do.
Oh, 100%.
Because now both of us are veterans. I was 10 years Army. He was 4 years Navy. I still love him.
So you still make fun of them, I'm sure.
Well, okay, so I'm actually the oddball because my dad, 3 of my uncles were all Navy. Him, his brother, his sister-in-law, and his nephew, and some of our friends were all Navy. So I have a few Army friends that come in and back me up occasionally, but I'm very outnumbered.
A lot of my family is either Navy or Air Force.
A lot of mine.
And then yours is Air Force. So
Yeah, we've got a couple of friends that are Air Force, and we don't really hold that against them. The country
Yeah.
club.
I always knew military wasn't for me, but I always told friends when they were in high school if they're going into military, just go join the Air Force. They're not going to shoot. They're not going to shoot you. You'll be all right.
You don't do anything in the Air Force.
The Air Force, they take care of their people unbelievably well.
Yeah, they have no idea how to march. Don't leave them at a 5-star hotel. They won't go, and they get the best food. I'll tell you that right now.
So I'm not hearing the downside of someone that wants to join the military joining the Air Force. I mean, if you want to shoot somebody, that's obviously not the one.
When I was in Saudi Arabia, I was actually on an air base. The food was so much better. They did all kinds of extra stuff for us that we got included in. It was great. I mean,
I love it.
They took great care of us. I mean, I can't complain at all.
And then at some point, you went back to the slums of the Army.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
I know Gina's husband.
They tell us our living quarters aren't up to par because it's not a 5-star hotel.
Yes.
That's so funny. I know Gina's husband was Air Force.
Yeah.
He was Dan. He was a welder in the Air Force.
And of course, we're going to pick on every branch, but we've got every one of their backs. So
absolutely,
just the way it is.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
on one of us, you pick on all of us.
That's right.
So one other thing, if anybody does a herp show, one thing you should definitely reach out to Talena and Gonzo for is name badges.
Oh yeah,
I love the name badges that y'all have done for all the vendors. And even if you do shows anywhere else in the country, like I want to get a badge
need
done.
a name badge,
It's the magnet backing one thing. Put your name on it, your logo, and it's. I've
probably bought 10 of them now.
I think I bought 4 or 5.
Well, somebody keeps losing them.
Yeah.
I think only one of them was lost. I just keep getting new people badges.
My Lone Star one is in your car. I did not lose that.
Yeah, I put it in the middle with mine.
And I don't know if y'all saw our post we had to make today.
I did.
Name badges. We hate doing it, but we've been at $5 since we started doing them,
which is super cheap.
Costs have gone up 40%. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to start charging $10 a badge.
And it's not just y'all though.
Robert can understand that. It's
prices across the board everywhere going up. So
everything's going up.
Yes. Even groceries at the grocery store are more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Price of milk was more expensive last night.
The lumber that we get, the 1/4-inch maple, we used to get it for like $14 a sheet. It's now finally come down to $34 a sheet. At one point, it was $48, and we never adjusted our prices. We're trying to keep them the same, but it's been killing us. Yeah,
but you can't. That's just. I mean, that's what Robert's talking about before. I mean, tub prices go up from a tub manufacturer. Robert has no control over that. Prices have to go up because of that. PVC goes up from a PVC manufacturer. Prices got to go up because of that. And people go, "Well, you're trying to make more money." No, they're trying to make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Usually
when I make a price increase, I'm making less money, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and Robert, you pretty much, you do some of this artwork, so we get people all the time that look at our stuff and go, "Oh, this is beautiful," but for that price, that's just insane, and then they walk away.
Well, don't buy it.
That always
is what it takes, material-wise, much less time-wise, to put a quality piece of art.
Yeah.
Well, that always kills me. Everybody feels like it should be Big Lots or Walmart. Like that's what just because you can buy cheap. Well, yeah, you can buy cheap stuff at there because it's cheap. There was no one sat down and planned it out and made it and took the time with some. It's the same way with animals.
And most of these designs that I make, now he thinks everything takes me 15 minutes. Not true. I can spend anywhere from a day to 3 weeks working on a design, just depending on how detailed it is.
I think some of them are very detailed. And there's lots of little cuts there that definitely have to be done on a laser, just because those small little cuts and stuff on those designs definitely seem time consuming.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've been trying to focus on bringing up like some of our, especially reptiles, up to speed. I will give a shout out to some of the snake people. I do not have any great pictures of snakes. That's why we do not have any, really.
Well, we can fix that.
Well, and the thing with those is, we've got pictures of ball pythons just sitting on, a table or something.
Boo.
But when you cut that out,
it looks like a pile of caca.
Yeah, it literally looks like a ball.
Don't worry, that's how all ball pythons look. It's fine.
It really, we need pictures with some kind of background or something they're crawling on so that we can create that depth look that we need. You know what I mean?
Yep. I made a PVC carved sign that said "We love balls," and I had a ball python on it, and it took. I got to get really creative with the tool paths to make it not look like a huge pile of shit.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's the problem. And when you're doing it in so many layers, it literally just looks like a ball of crap.
Maybe
with a design in it.
Yes.
Maybe that's because ball pythons are a large pile of crap. Just saying. There could be there's a common theme there. It was ball pythons. So if anybody has really amazing pictures of awesome looking snakes, send them over to Crafty Gargoyles. They can use the pictures.
Have you seen those?
I mean, what?
The pictures going around today of those Morelia?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I'll find it. Y'all go ahead and keep talking.
Okay.
Hey, and now we will say, if you guys send us pictures and we utilize your snake,
I will work in trade with you.
Yeah, we will create you one of the Mandelas and send it to you.
Ooh, okay. Now I've got to figure out
So
something.
now James is going to be taking pictures of snakes and working on this for the next week. I mean, Tracy is right. If you did a one-eyed snake, it would always look quite interesting.
Yeah, don't
I
do
am
that.
not making. I don't care what you say.
Say that's an Andy Hine thing, and
No one-eyed spitting
Send
snakes
me
here.
pictures. He has offered.
So on top of the signs and the name badges we said, you also do cups. I like the little light up signs y'all do. I have one of those floating around somewhere. Yeah, the little LED signs.
We do the LEDs. We do cutting boards. The new like the dice trays, the keychains, bar keys. Pretty much, if we can engrave it, we're going to engrave it.
I'm looking forward to a certain cup that you're working on.
What machine do you guys have?
I'm sorry?
What laser machine do you guys have?
We have Boss lasers.
Okay.
If you kind of look between us,
I see it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I'll even give you a reference size reference here.
Are they CO2 lasers or fiber
Okay,
lasers?
So I just anybody that's watching, if you see Talena standing next to that machine, she's only 3 foot tall. So that's
She's
really nice.
taller than that. She is taller than that.
Damn, that's funny.
Hey, the new
Just because you are like 7,000 feet tall compared to her doesn't mean anything.
But to answer your question, Robert, those are CO2.
That's what I thought.
Oh, wow.
Those are awesome.
But back to me.
Oh, my
'cause
Lord.
I'm important. There is a cup you're working on for a herps vendor that I'm really excited about seeing at some point.
Yes.
That I gave the herps vendor this idea, and now I just want to see it in reality. So I know we've mentioned Nine Finger Sean on the podcast before, but y'all are working on a cup for Nine Finger Sean's special hand
Yes.
that's missing a digit, and
That's
that
correct.
only
For him to hold.
but it'll only work for his hand. Nobody else's hand will fit there.
He sent us some pictures, so we're tracing his hand, and we're going to put it on a cup. So when he's holding it, it'll fit his hand perfectly.
That's what we're working on.
Can't wait to see
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh.
That's gonna be hilarious.
I love our family.
So on top
Oh,
of
crazy.
all that, the other half of your name is Gargoyles, which is you work in New Caledonian Geckos.
That
Yes.
is correct. We do the Cresties, Gargs, Leachianus, among other things. But we've got the Sulcata tortoises. Working on hopefully sometime soon getting some rock iguanas,
Oh, that'd be
babies.
cool.
And then I've started with the water monitors, so that's going to be a few years down the road. But
So you're gonna get a lizard that gets bigger than you.
yes, pretty much. Well, we before when me and her first met, I used to have tegus, black and whites, loved them, and the male that I had started getting ultra aggressive and started trying to tear up the female. So ended up selling the male off. Then I had 4 adult females that I couldn't find an adult male for, and ended up selling off all of those. And then she's the one that kind of got us into the geckos, and that just blew up. About 8 years ago now, 8 or 9 years, I guess, we've been breeding geckos.
Mhm.
Did you see the red tegu that was at the show this weekend?
Yes.
That thing was
Giant.
mad.
Did we lose them? They're frozen.
They're frozen on the iPad, but not over there.
I could see you over
Oh,
here.
there we go. We're back.
There you
Okay.
So anybody that's listening to the podcast on the audio recording, you just heard us. Anybody that was watching it, you did not hear
It
us.
was Hurricane Nicholas.
Hurricane Nicholas came
blame
back and
Nicholas.
messed it up.
I told somebody today that it was Hurricane Michael.
Hurricane. I had to look up. I made a meme today for the hurricane. I had to
Yeah.
look up its name. That's how little I knew about this hurricane when it became a hurricane. It didn't
Yeah.
become a hurricane until yesterday, like last night.
Last night.
Oh, it was like while Rachel was over here hanging
Yeah,
out
I
last night.
texted
So
her
like
and I was like,
9:30.
hey, maybe you should come home. It's a
Oh.
hurricane and it's going to come on shore like right here at Quintana.
Yeah.
So maybe you should go ahead and come on home.
I'm gonna tell you what though, sitting at the red light coming into the neighborhood, the wind was rocking my car, and I was like, "Good call, good call."
So back to the lizards. Yes, this weekend there was a giant red tegu. It looked awesome. I'd love to have that like just roaming around my house. I would not like have it shit around my house, but it'd be cool to have roam around your house.
Well, and I
If the
heard,
listeners
Bell
could
wouldn't last
see.
long.
I heard there were some bell phase laces out there too. And
there
I didn't
were.
know.
Those.
I didn't.
They were
see
across.
them,
They were
but
across from us. They were
there.
right next to VPI.
Yeah.
I didn't get to leave the front. Very
They don't.
much this
Okay,
weekend.
so unpopular opinion. They don't do anything for me.
God, I
Whose
love
were
them.
they? Because I never saw anybody at that table. Were they VPIs?
Saurian dragons, Saurian lizards, or
I love them.
because all he had was that small little sack, and it was like 3 or 4 of them. But when their bells phase, all you need to do is sell 3 or 4 of them, and
Yeah,
good.
pretty much.
that was not the coolest lizard I saw all weekend. The
We didn't
coolest
get a
liz-
chance to really walk around the show this weekend. It was
Me either.
Oh.
all weekend.
the coolest lizard I saw all
I don't
weekend
really know how James did get to walk around all weekend, but
Because I had Lucas there.
because Lucas was there. It was great.
no.
But the coolest lizards I saw all weekend were across from us at Jerry Salmon's table.
Yeah.
And
He
I've
had-
heard about them
he
since
had
we've
the
come home.
prettiest Gila monsters I have ever seen for sale at a show.
3 of them now live 5 minutes from here.
Yeah, I need them. They were bright orange and black. Oh, they were amazing. That was my favorite lizard I saw. So everybody's like, I know I'll be like the Bell's Phase lace monitors. Like, yeah, they're all right. I'd much rather have the Gila monster. Any of those ones that Jerry Salmon had, they were beautiful.
So the difference is if the Bell's phase accidentally bites you, it's just ow.
Yeah.
If the
Very
Gila
true.
bites you, it's ow, shit, let's go to the hospital.
Well, yeah, and then you just have to hope that you don't react poorly to. Well, it's not even that. Like, yes, the venom part would suck, maybe because there's not a ton of, but they fucking hurt when they bite.
Mhm.
They have insanely
Well,
powerful.
you
jaws.
remember-
Chewers,
Yes, they
like
chew
a
you
hog
it in,
nose?
but it's not that they clamp and they have insanely strong jaws, especially like because like monitors have sharp tearing teeth and
Mhm.
don't have horribly strong jaws, but these Gila monsters,
They crush.
yeah, they crush.
Yeah, you saw the one hanging off Matt's croc that
Yeah.
that last herp show.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to pry its jaws off. They had 2 of them in a small thing, and every time they try and grab one, the other one would try and bite them. So Matt Fank took his croc off and put it in there, and it bit it, and he picked it up out of there.
his
and-
shoe.
yes,
Not
That's
not
why I was
crocodile.
confused and
Yeah.
giving you that look. I'm like, why would you put a crocodile
No, what an actual
and a
crocodile.
Gila monster in the same tank?
yeah, no.
I was very confused.
I did make a movie poster for it though. It was Gila monster versus croc.
yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember this.
So there was a lot of great stuff there. Rick had that really pretty adamantius female.
They just had babies that are already all sold. They
Yeah.
were all sold by like Saturday.
Yeah.
Then in case you made it know what adamantius is, it's an eastern diamondback rattlesnake. Which
Thank
is
you
my,
for clarifying that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's one of my favorite venomous snakes on earth.
I just love the name. That's why I used
I feel like Talena's getting like death glare over here from Gonzo. Is this the snake
No,
that
I'm
Gonzo
actually-
wants?
I was looking at the comments over on the other screen.
Oh,
And I'm old, so I can't see that far.
oh, that's fine. I was like, man, that looks like Gonzo wants one of those
So-
babies, and Talena has said no.
I do want to get back to the lizards in on a second. I forgot one other thing I like about your whole setup is those carts. I'm big on like at a show how your table is set up or how your whole area is set up. Those carts you have are designed perfectly because you have 2 big tall carts and everything for your show fits in them. They come in, they roll out, they go there, and it's the whole setup. If anybody ever has a chance to make it to one of the herp shows they're at, that whole setup there is awesome. It's perfect. And so, like, I remember asking this weekend, I was like, so does everything you have fit in these carts? And it looks like everything can, plus you guys could probably fit in them. They're very roomy on the inside.
Almost,
Me,
yeah.
not him.
But those ended up being made out of necessity because we were having such a hard time trying to figure out how to display the Mandelas.
Yeah.
And we needed a way to hang them up, and that's kind of where we decided to go. And to make them sturdy enough, you had to make them wide enough to fit everything. And ultimately, that just kind of hey, if we put shelves in here, we can just store the whole show, roll 2 things out, and we're done.
I'm very much a fan of the show setup. If you have enough, like Robert does with the racks, and usually it's harder to do if you're just a breeder with small animals, but the ones where you can be on an end cap and you can walk into it, like yours is great. You can walk around both those carts. You can walk up to the table, and it's got a lot of room. And like the way that Robert sets up, it shows you can walk into the U shape of the racks and look at them.
We get you in there and trap you.
Yeah, and then make you buy one. I'm big on setups. Garrett Hartle from Reach Out Reptiles, who does retics, has probably the best one. We saw it at Tinley when we went. He had a Reach Out Reptiles like Harley Davidson there, and
you could like sit on it and take pictures.
He has this giant wall of like exhibit type cages built into the wall with all the snakes in it, and he's got this like bar in the middle where you can just pull up and hang out with charging stations on it. Like it is
when my phone started dying, I hung out there for about an hour.
It is a thing to see at the show. It's not just, it doesn't disappear into the background like a lot of tables unfortunately do. They just kind of disappear into the rest of them. Like this weekend, where were the Bell's phase monitors? Like there was nothing that like stuck out about them.
Right.
They were just
hidden. You're also not a super huge fan of them.
No, but I saw them. I saw them. But
I mean, it's very easy display on a table.
Yeah, it was very easy to walk past it.
Mm-hmm.
VPI does a pretty big setup. Even though VPI doesn't bring a ton of animals, they do a big setup, so you see all the VPI stuff. That's a big one.
Like Bryce and Debbie. Their
Bryce
setup,
and Debbie,
SMS Morphs, their setup, you can't miss it.
Oh,
yes. So I'm always, when I go to a show, I love to look at the setups and see how people do that. That was mine. Whenever I have my setup, it's not overly flashy, but it is at least professional looking, and that is my goal when I set up at a show.
I think Brandon Milam has one of the best looking, eye-catching setups. What is it called? I want to say Chaotic Exotics, but that doesn't sound right.
I don't remember.
He's the one that has all the pinks and blues.
Oh,
Asylum
Exotic.
It's just a small setup, but man.
But it sticks out.
But that's what he does for a living. He's
like graphic designer. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when you see it, it's like, damn, I want to walk over there.
One of our future guests coming on, Adeline Robinson, is an artist. She was there this weekend who had some of the most amazing.
I never got a chance to walk up there and look at her.
I bought some of her stuff. It was so affordable, which is what I loved about it. I love art.
Like we even had dinner with him Saturday night.
Cannot afford the art that I love, and it is a problem.
Well, because she's good. She does prints, and so you can afford prints. But I watched her sit there and do an original. Like she was
the Cobra.
No, I didn't watch the Cobra. That's the one she put up in. She did Indigo. An Indigo is what she put up in the auction.
Oh, that's right.
The Texas Indigo. No, I sat there and watched her do a little Viper and just off
on that square canvas.
She sat there doing it, and
she gave it to Sean at the end of the show. I think.
Did she?
Yeah.
I watched her doing the drawing, and then I came back at the end of the day and watched her doing the shading. And
if you're going to NARBC, she'll be there.
Yes, go find her. She had a huge sign, like you could see her from across the room. It stood up higher than everybody else's along that wall. That's the kind of thing you got to draw attention to yourself at a show. And I think that the way y'all set up is at the end of a row. I remember before when you had the tables and they were on like little rack, like it was not as impressive as it is now. The way they're hanging, because Robert does that with his signs as well. The way that they hang when you walk by. Yeah. It's so much better than laying them on a table. Like anything, like when it's art like that, it's just laying on a table. And I'll be real. I'm an animal person, but I'm a crafty person. And all these like market days, like that's my jam right there. Yep. That is my jam, hardcore. Robert's become a crafty person. And those types of setups draw me in. It's something to look when you're building racks all day long, you're cutting out rectangles and you're screwing rectangles together. And that's it. And it just gets really fucking boring. And it's nice to be able to do something a little different. Yeah. Let you be creative and yeah. It's like I do not see myself doing racks forever. I see myself owning a rack business and letting someone else run it. But I do not see myself doing racks and dealing with the day-to-day forever. Yeah. We're getting to the point now, especially with her being able to retire, that we're going to have to expand, build 2 more of those boxes just to be able to keep displaying everything, because we can't display everything we have now. Right? Oh, wow. He's pumping out 5, 6, 7 designs a week currently. Once she retires, she can start getting a lot more designs. She'll be doing that a day. Yeah, and that's
it's going to get to where we're going to take or need a lot more space just to display everything that we want.
So are y'all bringing back stock? Are you storing back stock inside of those, and when you sell one, bringing out one to replace it?
Yep.
We try to take at least 2 of each design. Try to. And then as we sell out of stuff and we don't have a spot for it on the walls any longer, then we'll start pulling out other stuff that we haven't been able to pull out. Like if we're at a reptile show, we're going to focus more on having the animal ones out versus say our nautical stuff. Even though we've had shows where we've had nautical and sold almost every nautical piece we had at a reptile show. Well, especially because like a lot of our shows, you get people that come in that are coming to a reptile show, not to buy a reptile, but that there's a reptile show and they have to go see the weirdness that is a reptile show.
Or and someone in their family dragged them to
what made me start doing things that were non-reptile related was I speak to everybody, that comes by, and I hear so many people that are like, oh, I'm just here because my daughter's into it or whatever. And I'm like, well, we need to have something for them to buy too.
Yeah.
I would love to get some of their money too.
That's why I started making the rice bags, and that's why I started doing the bookmarks, and why I did the little things that the other people that aren't there for animals could buy as a gift to give to someone that is for animals.
Yep.
Well, if y'all remember us back in the day, we were strictly animals and supplies until Harvey hit. And we lost most of our breeders. We lost everything we had in the incubator, but we didn't want to stop going to the shows. So she started doing some of the crafts and...
Well, no, we had crafts prior to Harvey.
Not like it was...
not like now.
We had to keep enough stuff on the table to keep us viable in the game, if you will. We had customers looking for us at shows, but unfortunately we didn't have any of the animals at the time. Yeah. But that kept our name out there, and people started noticing, well, you're getting, bigger with your arts, and it literally has just taken off on the craft side of this business.
Well, yeah, I remember Daytona.
Now it's overrun the animals, truly.
I remember Conroe, y'all used to be like just one little table, and you had I remember you had the little LED signs there. You could order those, and you had some lizards and some like gecko supplies. It was one little table. You're definitely not one little table now.
No. And now we can barely fit on the 4 tables that we're getting.
That's me. I could have had 8 this weekend at Conroe and filled that up easily. Yep. But that's me and everybody else. So
that's the whole thing. I mean, obviously we can't all have 8 tables or 10 tables. There'd only be 5 vendors.
Right.
Yeah.
So we gotta try and keep it scaled down, which is where we're at. But unfortunately, it does make it hard to display everything that we have. So we've got to kind of pick and choose what we want at what show. And, if we overhear somebody saying something, it's like, oh, yeah, we do have, something nautical or whatever. All
right. So back to the lizards, because I'm very interested in the lizards. So which gecko did y'all start? I'm assuming you went Crafty like everybody does.
No, we started with guards.
That's where it's
I know the name.
Okay, I was really like,
even with the name, if you watch really all.
Here's what happened: is we were looking at one of the reptile magazines, and I saw the gargoyles, and I said, "Oh, look, baby, they're so cute." So we traveled all the way up to Dallas to meet this wonderful gentleman by the name of Carl Vargas, who lives in Corpus. 40 minutes away from us.
I was going to say,
so you left. You basically left Corpus to go to Dallas to visit someone who lives in Corpus.
Yes.
I was going to say,
we went to the closest reptile show at the time, and it was in ARBC. And we met Carl and bought a guard from him, and actually, we bought 2. And talking to him, he's like, "Hell, you're in our backyard. Why did we come all the way up here when we could have got stuff from you here?"
I love it.
I feel like Gonzo just saw bacon written on a deli cup and went, "Yeah, I'm all for that."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Not to love,
because those bacon striped gargoyles are awesome looking.
Oh, they're freaking. Oh yeah, they're nice. And Carl definitely produces some of the best looking guards.
Don't give Carl a big head.
But
I mean, I have a little jar that I'm slowly stashing money away in so that I can eventually get a lychee from Carl.
Yes.
Every paycheck, I put a little bit in there. By this time next year, I might have enough for like one of the low end ones. In a couple years, I'll have enough for a really good one.
Gotcha.
But the thing is like with us, so we got with Carl and it's developed into a fabulous, friendship with him. But as
Freaking
we
love
started
Carl.
I do
going
too.
with the animals and then decided to start selling them, we were fortunate that Carl took us under his wing and kind of helped us get started, taught us the ropes to do all of this.
That's really cool.
Carl has a great story too.
He's fabulous.
The way I got to know Carl was at Slidell when we went to Phil's. Is that what it's called? And we had to wait like an hour and a half outside.
Yeah.
And I just started, I just started talking to him. I had never spoken a word to him in the 9 months or so I'd been doing shows. And we just hit it off talking about how he had gone full time and how he had worked for the same company for like 20 years and realized one day that there was no loyalty to him from the company. So he left and he's like, I wish I would have done it 20 years ago and done this full time because, it's been a lifestyle change for him. And he produces some amazing stuff.
I tried to push him to do that quite a few times, after the incident with his animals being there at the house. And unfortunately,
that was rough.
He had to move them out, and I'm glad that we were close enough that we could accommodate pretty much everything he had.
Yeah.
And,
that's where, okay. He never told me where they went. It was to you guys.
Yeah, all of his stuff is here pretty much.
Yeah. I know he told me he was driving like 30 minutes each way every day to feed them and do all that stuff. And when everything first happened, he had animals spread out all over Corpus, Portland, Rockport. I mean, they were everywhere. And he was telling me, man, I'm trying to keep up and I'm driving everywhere. And I'm like, Carl, we've got the facility here. You can bring all of your stuff to one location. And I'm perfectly fine. You guys know what happened, huh?
When we moved into this house, so we have a big metal building outside our garage. And so when we first moved in here, we made 2 15 by 15 rooms out there. One was for the animals, one was for me. And so
sounds like heaven.
I built her a craft room.
God, are you taking notes, James Lewis?
Upstairs.
Are you taking notes on this?
You have an entire upstairs area that's just yours.
Just mind my ass.
After all that happened, I went up to him and I said, how spread out are you? And he told me, and I said, I'll clean out my room. And so
that's awesome.
I
like you guys even more now.
Yeah, so her craft room turned into a little 8 by 12 inside the house, and he took over the other 15 by 15 room out there for all of his animals. And then, of course, we've got 2 acres, so part of it has his iguanas and the tortoises and all of that. So he was able to pretty much bring everything to one location. So he's not driving all over creation, and to me, it just made sense.
Well, and it's not just that though. I mean, it goes right back into we're a big family and we take care of each other.
That's right.
Yes.
So the city showed up at his house one day and come to find out they have rules that nobody knew about. Like people were surprised when they found out because there was dozens of other people who kept the same animals in the same city and made him
rules that are in place that have no reason to be in place.
Right. And haven't been enforced in years. But someone
have to understand Carl keeps geckos.
Yeah.
So there should be no rules in place that keeps Carl from having geckos.
Yep.
According to the rules in Corpus, you're only allowed 6 of any animal total.
Yeah.
Combination, whatever. Unless it's fish,
So,
and you can have as many fish as you want. But he could have 3 dogs and 3 cats, or 3 snakes and 2 cats, or
like
whatever
6 animals.
No more than 6.
Period.
So that's obviously
Holy
a law
crap.
put in place to stop hoarders and puppy mills. That is not a law that was originally put in place to stop someone from owning lizards.
Well, like the city of Alvin has a no exotic animals, period. You can't own a freaking garter snake in the city of Alvin
that makes
over
no
here.
sense.
Yeah. Like you told me there was a guy in the parade with a red tail.
Just walking around with snakes in his hands. I'm like, first off, I thought, what a freaking moron walking around with snakes, having no idea what's going to happen. It could reach out and bite somebody. And then second, I thought, hey, he can't fucking have these snakes here.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yep.
But so anybody that doesn't know Carl Vargas, one. So we talk about setups for a show and the amazing things. His brainchild that is now on like 7 or 8 different tables at
least
herp shows, and I know it's on your table as well. But the dark box for all of your New Caledonian geckos, for anybody that has ever had a Crafty or a Gargoyle or a Lychee, you know that they change colors throughout the day, especially stressed, less stressed, dark, light, wet, dry. They change colors, and Carl had Freddie design the dark boxes with have little doors. If you lift the door, it's been sitting there in the dark. When you lift it, you can see all the pinks and greens that has been sitting underneath the bright fluorescent lights of a show and seeing all these people walk by. And I honestly didn't know how pretty some of those lychees were until he put them in those boxes.
Yeah. I was looking at some of Kristen's this weekend.
They're pink.
Just amazed me how much color they had.
It truly is revolutionizing the way we display New Caledonian species for that reason. And besides the fact that it keeps them fired up so you get to see their natural colors, it's so much less stressful on that animal to be in a dark environment. You don't have all of those people walking by all the time, just an occasional, someone peeks in. And that's just so much better for the animal overall.
I need to tell Victor Loriano something. Victor, I know if you hear this.
So Victor just commented.
Yeah, he just commented. Message me after we're done, maybe 20, 30 minutes, so I can show those snakes to Logan. I keep forgetting. But now that I see you on here, he's got. So, Logan, I get home a little while ago, and he's like, "Hey, Dad." So I was cleaning up my room today, and I forgot I had a hidden stash of money that apparently I hid from myself too. I found $200.
Jesus,
Holy crap!
I need to find. All right, I gotta start looking around the house.
So
yeah, you're not gonna find any. Sorry, man.
He sold that. Sean bought that milk snake from him this weekend.
You know that milk snake is gonna live at the shop, right?
Is it?
It'll be there whenever Logan shows up.
Awesome. Yeah, and then he told Sean he only wanted $300 for it, but he had $350 on it, and Sean gave him $350, and Logan didn't even know until he went to count it.
Did you see some of the stuff Sean got this weekend?
I didn't get a chance. The only time I saw it was when Sean thought they got stolen.
He got some bulls. Oh, we'll go over that story later. That's fucking hilarious. He got some bull snakes this weekend.
We are all over the place tonight,
I know that's our podcast every night.
Yeah,
but he got some albino bull snakes that looked fucking amazing.
Yeah. That shop is good. I can't wait. You see all the
pictures today?
All the cages he put into Todd's cages? Jeez.
This is what I love about Sean Gray and the new Herbs Reptile Shop. Sean spent this weekend going around to vendors, not asking for deals.
Nope.
Sean will not ask a vendor for a deal.
He won't even take a deal if you try and give it to him.
And he gets upset when you try to offer him one. But he went around to tables looking for stuff for his shop from vendors. When you go to a normal pet store, and this is not a knock on normal pet stores. This is how it works, and that's how it goes. But there tends to be a wholesale list, and you buy things cheap off a wholesale list. You get them in, and you sell them.
Right.
That is not the route Sean is taking. Sean is finding these animals from a person.
He bought wholesale stuff too.
He does, but he is finding certain animals from a person that he knows bred them, where they came from, and so when he buys geckos or tortoises or whatever, he can kind of give you a backstory on that stuff. So, I was excited to see some of the stuff that he picked up. But
and he picked up three art pieces from us to put in front of all of his interactive rooms.
Yeah,
awesome.
He picked up 3 of our Mandelas this last weekend. We did a wallaby for him, a chinchilla, and the tortoise.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did 9 tortoise tables for him.
Yeah,
that's because he's going to have different spaces that are interactive, and those are the different.
Those are the animals,
yeah.
Right.
I think I'm hanging out in the tortoise room for grand opening day because I can talk about the tortoises, and that way I can do the education stuff all day.
How many of us are going to be there on grand opening? Jesus,
I don't know, but I opted not for chinchillas.
Yeah,
because I don't do mammals.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's what's awesome about
the grand opening.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely. I think
that shop.
It's going to be like a herp show on steroids.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know where everyone's going to park. Y'all haven't been there.
No.
We may have to. What we may have to do is we may have to carpool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I'll message Lori and reach out to like the vendors that are coming in.
Yeah.
And seeing like, hey, where could we carpool?
Like we're gonna need like tents outside with chairs for people to sit under.
But like you said, even I said with the animals, he got tortoise tables from you. Those cages that you put in today were from Todd. He got signs from you guys. Like he is. It is the Herps Reptile Shop, but it is definitely like going to a small Herps Reptile show in one building.
Yep.
And the cool thing, like with Sean and Lori, so I designed these pieces just for them, and somebody had asked about the tortoise, and we reached out to Sean, and he said, no, don't make these exclusive. You make money off of these. So any of the pieces that you see that we have in his shop, we will be selling.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Talking to the microphone would be
Sorry,
great.
my bad.
There you go.
That is great. There's also a daiquiri bar next door to the
Not
pet
yet.
shop.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, there's going
Well,
to
I'm
be.
sure
It's
Lori
still
is counting
being
down the days.
She's
Like when I say next door, it's from here to Joe's room.
nice.
Yeah.
That's like 20 steps in
Yeah.
case anybody is wondering from the podcast.
That's like, well, it's gonna be more like 30 steps staggered on the way.
They
back.
have to use, because they don't have their parking lot built, they use the reptile shop's parking lot right now for all their construction equipment because it's right there.
I really hope for their sake that they can open by the grand
They
opening.
won't. I think the plan is after that.
Because good Lord, could they do some business that weekend?
It won't be open by then. There's no way.
Damn. That sucks for them.
I don't know. We were there one weekend.
I mean,
and there
not
was
when the
nothing but
shop does
dirt.
their soft opening, but like the big opening
Like,
in November.
We were there one weekend and there was nothing there.
That's
but
almost 2
dirt.
months away.
The next weekend they had the
That's
slab and the frame up. So
That's almost.
they
They,
might
have that
may
open
be
by then.
pushing to have it open.
So that's gonna
They
be a
could
lot
do
of drunk
bank.
people wandering around reptile.
Shit. They could make a lot of money that weekend.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Are you saying that the people we hang out with drink a lot?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that I
Pretty
enjoy
sure we were-
daiquiri barns.
We had 350 Jello shots that went. in
They were
like
gone.
an hour.
Theoretically, at that venue, you had 350 Jello shots. If
They
you
were
were to
just
have,
Jell-O. They were just Jello.
they were just Jello,
Yeah.
and a lot of people ate them. They love Jello.
Jello is fun.
Who keeps commenting? I don't know who that is.
It's not popping up. I don't know, Robert. You left your computer and I suck
Well,
at this.
like even on mine, like when I look at it on
I
here,
know it's
I got
not.
John Grant
It's
and
got to be
Tracy.
Gina. That's all I can figure.
they're the only two popping up.
Don't know.
Because yes,
The world may never know.
Tell us who you are.
I think it's Gina,
It's got to be Gina.
but I don't know why it's not popping up on my
So,
Facebook.
is Carl the reason you got? Were you interested in lychees, or is Carl the reason you got into lychees?
I was interested in the lychees. I thought they were awesome.
It's Gina.
Actually, Wes was the one that got me really hooked on them when he brought that big one he had that he used to take to the shows, and I just fell in love with that thing.
I love that big female that Carl brings to the shows.
Yeah.
She's awesome. I've held her, and she's awesome. And because of it, I'm like, I want to lychee. My problem is there's two parts to my brain. There's the part of my brain that's like, you should own whatever animals you want to own. And the other part of my brain is, you should own whatever animals you want to own
That you
as-
can afford.
as long as you can make some money off of them to afford them.
Yeah.
And if I buy a lychee, it doesn't fit into that part of the brain because I'm not going to breed the things because it horrifies the ever-loving shit out of me to breed them.
Oh, see, and that part of the brain doesn't exist in my brain. Mine's just, what do you want to have? You should get it.
But lychees can be expensive. In case you might be curious, they can be expensive as far as lizards, geckos go. And I cannot imagine having a $2,000 lychee kill another $2,000 lychee.
That
Yeah.
would make me cry.
I know you told me a story this weekend, Gonzo,
Yes,
that would have
we had
drove
a-
me fucking nuts.
We had a female that we tried 7 different males with, and she beat up every single one of them.
Ugh.
And we would sell the male, buy another one, try it again, and it was just constant. And eventually we ended up selling her to Jack and Heidi, and the first male they put her with, she got crazy.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's pretty much how we
Jeez.
felt. But, you know, it happens.
But
Yeah.
I mean, we were so worried about her that when we would try to pair her up, we actually kept her enclosure in our bedroom.
Yeah, that way we could listen and you know, if they'd start rustling around, get up, shine a light, make sure everything was fine. And
That's a lot of gecko to take, like to try and separate.
what's that?
That's a lot of gecko to try and separate during a fight.
Yes, and got bit quite a few times. You know, it was not fun, but you know, I didn't want to lose a $2,000 animal.
Ugh. It's the same reason I want blue tongue skinks, but I'll never breed blue tongue skinks.
Right.
I'm horrified of having our leg ripped off just because they don't want them to have sex.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine that? Like, if that was humans, that's how you stop rape right there. Just rip a leg off. Like, I don't want rape. Rip a leg off. Then you see a whole bunch of one-legged people hopping around going, "You learned your lesson."
Oh my
And if they have no legs, they learn the lesson twice.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna be this person. We are an hour into this,
And we're talking about geckos.
and you have not once mentioned our question of the week.
So we haven't got to it yet. So on gecko
So-
sex.
Come on,
Talking about gecko sex.
pull
here.
that up, bud.
All right. So our question of the week, I twisted what I asked Gonzo. What question would you like to ask? And he asked when we already asked before. We'd talked about what were your plans if you have long-lived animals like tortoises, and we've talked about that before. When they buy a tortoise, don't actually have that plan at all, and they never form it. And then, although I don't know how many people that buy tortoises actually have them until they reach 20 or 30 years old, unfortunately. But that does happen. Now, the question I asked is, what is one animal you've always wanted because of its lifespan you have not bought it? And the answers I got went the way that I was thinking I would answer, but not the way I was thinking our listeners would answer. I assumed a lot of people say tortoises. They've never bought tortoises because they lived so long and they didn't want to have to worry about that, because it is definitely a concern. You have tortoises yourself, right, Gonzo?
Yes.
And so it's definitely a concern for you down the road that you've got to have plans for where they're going. I know you have sulcatas. Do you have anything else?
No, we just have the sulcatas right now.
So, and that is a concern of what to do with. So there were several answers I got. Lavissa Ratliff said jumping spiders, which I own 2 jumping spiders. And I asked her why. And it was because they're short-lived. She didn't want to get a jumping spider, get attached to it, and then it dies in a year and a half, which definitely happens. They're not a long-lived animal. And then Sienna Thomas also answered. She said Great Danes. And I had a feeling where she was going with that one. I asked her why, and it was the same thing. Great Danes don't live as long as other dogs. They're big. Most of your big dogs live less than 10 years, especially with the way they're bred nowadays. Katie, you said Panther Chameleons, because this was on my mind.
Oh, I've always wanted a Panther Chameleon, but I cannot pay that much money for something that's only going to live for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm lucky.
5, 6. Yeah.
If I'm lucky,
Yeah,
4 years.
We had a friend give us an adult Panther Chameleon, and it lived for about a year to 2 years.
I was going to say, we had
But
it for almost 2 years,
already
and
full-grown
it was
when we
already
got it.
full grown when we got it. And I was devastated when that thing died. And I can't do it.
Emily Aminette said tricolor hognose. It's a shame they don't live that long. I think that's more of a, we haven't really figured out tricolor hognoses as well. Those are a tricky one. We've got Western hognoses down to an art, and we can reproduce those like crazy. And then, of course, Sean with the opposite end, and this is the way I figured most, baby galops. Although he just got baby aldabras, so it's the same fucking problem. So I vote Sean just gives me those aldabras, and then he doesn't have to worry about what to do with them later on.
Yep.
I'll just take them. I could use some baby aldabras.
Whatever.
I could use that full-grown aldabra, either one. But it's definitely a concern. Like chameleons is the big one for me, because again, part of my brain goes, if I'm going to spend a lot of money on an animal, I need to get a return on it. And if I'm going to spend a lot of money on a Panther Chameleon that's going to live for 5 years and not breed, like that's just the logic in my brain doesn't work. Plus, unfortunately, prices have gone down on Panther Chameleons some. They're not still like $600-700, and then you lose it in 5 years. Yep. But is there anything that y'all have that just fall into that line? You're like, oh, maybe we won't get this.
No, he wants everything.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. Solidarity. We'll do it.
If I had the money and the means, we would have a zoo. I mean, truly, I love all kinds of animals, and I love the exotics. You know, I've been trying to convince her to let me build a pond for some gators.
No.
Yes.
I've been looking at the
No, I'm with Talena on that one. No.
I keep seeing the baby hippo at the zoo, and it's like, dude, we could have a hippo in the backyard. You know?
That's good shit.
I love all animals. So
What?
No hippos.
I missed it. I don't have headphones.
if she would let
Gonzo
me,
wants a baby hippo.
we would have a freaking zoo.
That's a hard pass.
Maybe when it's a baby.
Hey, like I said, if I could, we would have a full-blown zoo.
Well, I'm with you, Gonzo. I told Katie if we ever move into a house with an in-ground pool, we no longer have an in-ground pool. We have an alligator exhibit.
Yep.
No.
There you go. I'm good with
We
that.
have a pool.
No,
We don't need you better learn how to swim fast.
No.
that's it. Put a little net in there, you'll be all right.
I've told her, look, if I could figure out how to afford and do the paperwork and get Chinese alligators, I'd have them in an instant. It's the one thing that I desperately want more than any other animal.
That one I might let you have.
Is a Chinese alligator. I had them when I worked at the zoo, and I fucking love them.
He was one of my favorite education animals at the entire zoo.
And I want another one so
He really
bad.
was.
But I'm with you. You should definitely build a pond with alligators so I can come over and play with the alligators.
No. See, he's really lucky because he has an old lady that really does not tell him no very often.
Amen.
Well, then why are you starting now?
Amen. I hardly ever tell
Come
you
on,
no.
Talena.
I've
But
told you
they-
no to
top of
venomous,
the gators, I
and
don't
I've told you no to a gator.
Let him get a black dragon, and we're gonna have another one coming. I've even told him okay on the bet or on the lace.
You're less
Okay.
likely to get bit by the alligator than you are the black dragon.
Yeah,
For sure.
see?
That's fine. That's fine. But I am not gonna. I mean, we already have so many outdoor enclosures that we need to get built. And
So
no. And
I
then
just
he
had a
makes
thought.
Another problem though, and this is what I told him: if you're going to get your alligator or your whatever your
She said you can get it. I heard it. I heard it right there. She said you can get one.
No, she
No,
did
I
not.
said
She said if.
if
I didn't hear that.
or the other one he wants is the Gaboon Viper, and
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like Gonzo and James are the same person. this is not.
I told him he could get it, but there's a few stipulations, just safety type things. But here's the thing: if he leaves town, hops on the bike, goes wherever, which he does, who the hell is gonna feed them animals? Because you know who it's not going on.
So like alligators, super easy, right? So
That's
you
what
just
I
toss
said.
food in there. You can use pellets. You can toss the big Missouri alligator pellets. Super easy. Gaboon Viper can go a fucking year without eating, so you're good.
He does
I've
know
heard
that.
these things, but you know, it's
So
Victor said he heard it too. He
No,
said he heard that you
no,
can get an
Victor,
alligator.
you're not going to win this one. So here's my thought.
Ashley.
Ashley.
Ashley Howdy says vipers, croc monitors,
ma'am.
caimans are the best.
No,
All right, I
ma'am.
pass on caimans. I'll take an alligator any day. Caimans,
So,
small man combo.
What if you worked with some type of alligator?
That's the line.
All right, Talena, here's the deal.
What if you hold on, listen,
ahead.
this is a valid point. What if you
Yeah, but you're on
worked
Talena's side, so I'm not sure I like you.
No, but this could actually work in your favor. What if you worked with like some type of a rescue or an alligator park where you had them
What if-
until they reached
No.
a certain size?
No, that's stupid. No one wants. Why
And
would
then
you
you
wanna give up your
traded them
alligator?
in.
Who wants to give up their alligator? They raised from a baby. That's
I don't
crazy.
I
know.
raised it up, it'd be my pet. I couldn't let it go.
All right, what if Talena?
Yeah.
Okay, then I got nothing.
Talena, I got an idea.
Raised it up, and it could get you meat.
Well, that would the cows. That's fair game. That's kind of like
A
deer.
cow.
You know,
Talena, here's an idea, and this is a valid idea. What if Gonzo could work with someone who has been trained how to handle Gaboon vipers and alligators, and they could teach him how to properly do it? Could he get one?
But your wife has already told
he's already
you no.
told me I could have the Gaboon.
Yeah,
That-
you can have
that's
the
that's a
Gaboon.
done deal.
I told you you could get one as soon as you got a cage that it was safe in.
But I'm just saying I could help Gonzo because I've technically worked with Gaboon vipers and alligators.
I know you have, and I've still told you no on the alligator.
The gator's the only one that she said no to so far, straight up.
You know what? Just start digging a hole. Go outside, dig a
No,
hole, put an alligator in it. Fuck
She
it.
might put
She's
his ass
gonna
in
put
it.
his ass in that hole.
Oh,
Did we lose him?
who?
Who?
I'm
We don't
here.
lose anybody.
Oh, it's the. Never mind.
Oh, you're looking. Look up there.
I know. Well, on my computer, it's lagged, so that's why.
Oh yeah.
I want an alligator now.
Never.
I can't even own Venom. I couldn't, even if I could have afforded the damn Gila monsters this weekend, I still can't own them in this fucking county.
By
Yeah.
50
That's
feet.
the other issue.
I could throw a rock to the county where I can own them at. I just can't own them here because I'm in the wrong neighborhood.
So that's good. But that's good to know. So when we start looking for a
Get
more
out of this
permanent
damn-
location,
Don't go to Alvin.
You either
Yeah,
have
no.
to be in the only two counties around here, Fort Bend County, Montgomery County, which is where Conroe is. All the rest of them are
And they
no
don't
limits.
flood up there.
Nope. That's what we're thinking about going.
They have good schools.
They pay a lot for teachers up there,
Yeah,
just like down here.
they're very equivalent.
And then we could sleep on our own beds for Conroe.
Oh, Bryan College Station area too. You can have them.
Yeah, but then I gotta live in Bryan College Station.
That's
They don't
Great.
pay. I don't think they pay as well as
I don't know.
Conroe. That's what, teacher money. I need to make good teacher money so I can afford
Damn
my
straight.
alligator that I'm gonna buy.
I've already gotten used to this twice a month paycheck from Texas.
Just wait till you get used to that alligator.
We've no.
Anyways, so that was our question again. Was lifespan? That's alligators live 60, 70 years sometimes. That's a long lived pet. You've got to kind of make a plan for that. Fortunately, there are alligator parks and zoos that might be willing to take a large alligator, but it's tricky. I mean, they don't always want to. But Robert, I want to hear some dumb people from the internet.
I've kind of been spending a little less time on the
I got one. I got one that I want to bring up, and I've brought it up before, and it drives me nuts. And it happens every time I do a show with you with the racks. It's not him; it's people.
I was
Just
like,
fucking people.
damn, throw him under that bus.
People get so fucking hung up on the weight of their goddamn snake.
Yeah.
So someone posted in a group. I saw someone post. At what weight did they need to move their snake up from a whatever to a whatever? I'm like, when it's ready to move up, what the fuck are you weighing your snake for? Look at it. Can it eat this? If you can eat that, feed it. I was like,
If it
feed it
doesn't
to
fit,
it.
move it.
Like, is it twice as big as the snake? Don't feed that to it. That's maybe too big. Okay, but like, is what you're feeding right now leaving a lump at all? No, then yeah, it's probably time to go up. But like, people will come up to the racks and they'll go, so what weight, what size, what weight can I put? How many grams is always? How many grams does the snake have to be before I move it into this tub? I can't fucking tell you the answer to that. I have no idea how big that snake is at whatever grams you're talking about.
I do.
But like,
I know how to answer.
that's
my
why
customer's
that's always I
questions.
was turning to you. I'm like, what are they fucking talking about?
It's called customer service.
No,
We provide it.
You tell me how big your snake is. Is it 3 foot, 4 foot? We're good. I can go off that. But like, they get so hung up on grams, and it's only fucking ball python people.
That's how you breed them.
But it's only like Sambo is 300 grams is what you're supposed to weigh that, but no one is like, ooh, I gotta make sure it's 300 grams. We just basically go, yeah, it looks right.
Yeah,
that's about the right size. You can breed it there.
Yep.
And I mean, are you weighing your geckos to see if they can reproduce?
Technically, yes. We try and make
No,
sure
it's not.
that
That's
they're
no.
at least 40 grams. But I have.
But you can visually tell if you look at it. Can you? I'm assuming you're at the point now you can look at that and go, that's more than 40 grams.
Yeah, pretty much. But we also, for me personally, I like to make sure that the female's already dropped her first set of duds, so that I know she's completely ready.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
So you're using other factors than just weight.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm starting to see more and more people in these ball python groups that are like, I got this female up to 1,500 grams. She's a year old. I'm pairing her. I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
and that's part of the problem because I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of people, power feeding and feeding bugs and whatever to geckos to grow them up faster, but their body
Very good
hasn't matured to get to that, reproductive stage.
Yep.
I like Paul Byfield. They don't weigh themselves in the wild.
Right.
Yep.
I with the ball python, I wanted to see 3 winters.
Yeah.
I wanted to have gone through 3 winters. I don't care how heavy it is.
I think most.
But it also needs to be at least 1,500. I'd prefer 2,000 grams after those 3 years before we start pairing it.
Well, I think most of your longer lived reptiles, and when I say longer lived, I mean more than 10 years. I mean, because some of these small lizards like anoles grow pretty quick and breed pretty quick because they have a shorter lifespan.
Right.
But a lot of these longer lives, they're probably not breeding until 4, 5, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
They're probably not even close to the right. Now they may be smaller. I'm sure like there are ball pythons in the wild that are breeding at 800 grams, whatever
Most bull snakes are 5 years.
Yeah. So they're probably going to be smaller in grams of what we normally think they should be to breed, but they're going to be 2 or 3 years older than what we're normally breeding them at.
Right.
And so I think age is a huge factor that doesn't get played in when you start just saying grams.
The most dangerous thing you can do with your animals is breed them.
Yes.
It is the worst thing for them.
Especially if you have lizards that'll rip their legs off.
Well, yeah, there's
and
that.
beat each other up.
But I'm a firm believer in we need to make it as safe for them as possible. And, breeding a ball python at 1.5 years old that you've fed a medium rat every week to for 1.5 years to get it up to weight is you're just asking for that thing to die in a few years.
Yeah. That's why every time I hear the word grams, I cringe just a little bit.
Yeah. It's just a question we have to answer 1,000 times a weekend at a show. And
this week you told me, said they can live in that 70 tub from baby all the way up to adult. You just got to set it up depending on what the animal is.
Right.
Don't get hung up on that.
Right.
I pulled it up because I wanted to quote it right, but it always reminds me of the quote from Jurassic Park. They were so preoccupied with whether or not you didn't stop to think if you should.
Right.
That's how people are when they're like, I got it up to 1,500 grams in the first year. Did you stop to think maybe you shouldn't do that?
Right. So what I was saying originally was I've kind of stepped back off of Facebook on the reading everything I see because it's just not good for your mental health. And it makes me
feel better about myself.
It does, but it doesn't, because when you just focus on all the negative and the stupidity, it makes you negative and stupid.
There are a lot
of
people.
I just I don't know.
I liked the one today that I sent it to you. Max sent it to me. It was about the woman that got chased by the rattlesnake.
Now that was excellent. Yeah.
So she made like 500 TikTok videos on that. If you look, it's like the last 20 TikTok videos.
Well, because that dude called her out and was like, "You're lying."
She basically said that a rattlesnake jumped out onto the trail and then chased her down, lunged at her, and then chased her down and bit her.
Yeah.
As she was running full speed for like a mile back to her car.
Yeah.
And none of that fucking makes sense for rattlesnakes.
A Southern Pacific at that, which are usually pretty chill.
Yeah. She said it went off like the trail, and then somehow it came back on the trail and chased her as she ran like the mile to her car.
Well, like the guy said, you might have stepped on another one.
Yeah, you may have found
when
another
you
one
saw
down the
that
road.
one, but that was not the same rattlesnake a mile later.
She made so many videos like freaking people, and he made a good point. You know,
She said in their response, "How dare you call me a liar?" Well, you're a liar, so I'm going to call you one.
He made a good point. The whole thing was now she's making, by putting this out there, and there were a lot of views on her shit. You make people more afraid of going into nature. You make them more afraid of going out there and seeing nature based on a story that is not true.
Yeah.
Something that did not happen, which is every story of, I had a snake chase me. Bullshit. Because I'm telling you right now, everyone that handles snakes, goes out and goes herping looking for snakes, has never had it happen, and they're looking for the motherfuckers. Like
Yeah.
it didn't.
I mean, every cottonmouth I've ever found must be broken.
Yeah, every cottonmouth we found this summer when we went out, just was like, "Can you leave me alone? I'm trying to go away."
I'll go over here if you'll just stay there. So
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, Max Hicks sent that to me. I was like, well, that's. And then like I said, the guy's video where he's talking about either A, you completely misunderstood the behavior of an animal you knew nothing about, or you're lying. And I think it's A and B. I think it's both.
Yeah.
But
that's why I said, "Did you read the comments?" And you were like, "No,
I
was
did.
like,
That's why I
"Go
went
read
back
the
and I saw it. I
comments."
was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
The fact that she commented on it. But I was also looking. I missed like our entire Facebook group last week. We got so enthralled in the doctors that were on that I didn't go back and look at a lot of stuff that people posted in our Facebook group over the last week. I did. I posted this. We had I can't remember her name. The one from Eastern Michigan. They were doing the mapping of the genome of ball pythons. Remember we had them on.
Oh, yes.
And they were doing the albinos.
I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but I know who you're talking
But
about.
now they're discovering the gene for yellow belly. So they're also studying morphs in yellow belly complexes such as spark, spectre, and asphalt.
Mm-hmm.
So they're adding to it. Again, I shit on ball pythons, but I love genetics and the fact that they're learning how to map out the genes in hets, and you can start to get rid of possible hets because I think a lot of people rip off folks with possible hets. I know that Sean tells me a story, and I don't want to mention the breeder, but it was a big time leopard gecko breeder. And he tells me a story of he went to the guy's table and he said he needed them to be whatever line of albino or whatever it was. And he goes, yes, all of these on the table are that. And then Sean goes away and his friend goes over there and names a different line of albino. He goes, yes, all of these are that. And like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
Now you screw someone over when they buy it and they actually
Yep.
want to be in a breeding project, and now they wonder why shit doesn't work.
We see that with xanthic and ball pythons. People be like, you'll say, "Well, what line of xanthic is it?" And you screw up and you say, "Because I only do VPI." Oh, those are all VPI xanthic, and they're not. They'll be TSK, or so you get a bunch of double heads.
So, I know in the New Caledonian geckos, there's not, at least with like why am I bringing a blank? Cresties. There's not a lot that is, I want to say genetic, but not a lot that is recessive or incomplete dominant, other than like one xanthic line and the lily whites or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about the other New Caledonian geckos, but I'm assuming most of that is just line bred type things.
Yeah, so like the guards piss us off every time we breed them together because you don't get, if you put two stripes together, you're not guaranteed to get stripes. You'll get retics or mosaics. It's always a crapshoot. And you put two reds together, you may end up with oranges. You just never know.
Or a yellow.
Or a yellow. You just never know what you're going to get. I mean, it's literally you're rolling the dice.
It's like a box of chocolates. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Except the box of chocolates can be worth $5 or $500. That's the problem.
God, Forrest Gump moment.
Now, I can tell you that when we do our breeding, he doesn't put animals together because Gonzo is colorblind. Fully colorblind. To the point that he came home from a show one time and I wasn't able to go. And he comes up and he says, "Look, honey, And I look at the box and I said, "That's pretty." And he said, "It's red." I said, "No, honey, it's not. It's yellow." And so now we actually have different vendors that if he is there without me and he's going to buy anything, they will double check him. But so
I'll help you with that in the future, by the way, because I'm the kind one in this relationship.
I would help Gonzo.
Yeah, I normally go to Carl and say, "All right, Carl,
That's the one to go to.
this and is it the color I'm thinking?"
But,
That's my roommate in college was colorblind, and it was so much fun fucking with him.
God,
I remember we're sitting around
such a
one
jerk face.
we're sitting around and I'm talking about I think Harry Potter, and it's talking about Slytherin, which is green.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, "So something about Raiders colors." You're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He goes, "They're Raiders colors." Like, the Raiders are black and silver. That's green. And he goes, "Oh." And so I don't know how long. I guess his entire life he thought that Slytherin and Harry Potter was, or one of them was green, or one of those. I don't know which one was which, but he was way off the entire time. But yeah, he was
Okay, I took care of him. It was okay.
That's all right. I'm pushing 50, and I've been colorblind all my life.
My dad was.
And my mom still goes, "Hey, what color is this?"
Oh, that's not cool.
So that's one of two things. Either one, she just forgets, or two, she fucking loves making fun of him.
She forgets. But,
She plays it off and she forgets.
This one here has done it too, and asked me. She's over there painting stuff. She holds it up. She says, "What do you think of this?" It looks great. I don't know what color it is, but it looks good.
I love it.
I used to have to help my roommate pick out between blue and black socks.
The one that kills me is when she does her iridescent changing color paints. She's like, "Here, look at this," and I'm like, "All right." She's like, and she's moving it around. It's like it all looks the same no matter what you do. Not change color for me.
Oh my God.
and I'm like, "Oh, you can't see it, can you?"
Yeah, the gray is going to be gray no matter what you do with it.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
No, it's gray.
Oh, so I was going back through and I was trying to find. Oh, I do want to say I want to get some pictures of some of y'all's your art and post it over on our Facebook page. So I have to get with you and get some stuff, and I'll put together little things so everybody can see these, because I mean you've got to see them to understand them. They are very great.
And
They can
pictures
look on our-
don't even do them justice.
Yeah,
They
can
really
I
don't.
agree.
Facebook page, which is Facebook-Crafty Gargoyles, and we also have CraftyGargoyles.com, which does have some pictures as well.
So yeah, go over to those and check them out. I'll link them.
Do it.
I will do it. They'll do it.
And one of the things I want to put out there, is if there's a design you're interested in and you don't see it, contact us, because we do custom work. We've had people send us pictures of their dog, whatever.
A lot of dogs.
A lot of dogs.
A lot
and
of
we'll
dogs.
actually make a mandala of their dog.
A lot.
Well, that's awesome.
And we try and match colors, whatever. We've had somebody send us one for a beta fish.
Yeah, it's not we matching colors. It's
Well,
Talena
she
matching
does.
colors. We made that clear already, guys.
It's always I run the machine. That's my job.
You can
Right.
tell if they all come out just one color. They're all gray and black. Like, yeah, Gonzo did that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gonzo, look at this wonderful green, yellow, and red fish.
We're
Hey,
gonna
so-
do an
They're
experiment.
so
Hold on a
wrong
minute.
for
I'll
all this.
Talk about this. So this crazy woman here wants me to airbrush
One of our beta
one of the
fishes.
beta fish design,
You mean the really
Just so
colorful
they
ones?
can-
That's great.
just so she can figure out what I see. So the bad part is, I can say, all right, I know it should have been, it's supposed to be red or blue or, whatever, right?
But you've never seen those colors, so you
No, so there's
you
still-
really don't have a concept of what red is.
correct, but I have
It's great.
it's how do I want to say? So I can see shades of gray, but it's all the same. So it's either darker or lighter or whatever. Anything that's
Okay.
vibrates. Fluorescent colors drive me insane because they give me a headache.
Ah.
Okay, it literally vibrates when I'm looking at it, and that's how I know. Okay, that's a fluorescent color
Or a neon.
or a neon color, something like that. It hurts my eyes. But so she wants me to basically find a picture that I like and try and duplicate it using the ink she has.
And I have a whole cart.
well,
full of ink.
the problem I have is none of those freaking ink bottles or whatever actually say like blue or green. No, it's like citrus or
Melon.
melon. What? I don't know what the fuck color that is. Pardon my French, but it's azure. What the hell is azure? I don't know.
Come on, Mexican, that's blue.
It's.
See, now I know you don't know Spanish.
Oh, so I've forgotten about that.
They have all these colors that don't make sense to me. So when I was in school, when they found out I was colorblind, they had to get, the crayons and markers and stuff that actually had the words so that I could figure out what I was supposed to be
Are
doing.
you telling me the words haven't always been on the Crayola stuff?
No, they haven't.
You just aged yourself, but that's so cool. I'm obsessed with Crayola. So Gina just mentioned this in the chat, and I totally forgot about this. Tracy got Chris Duncan a pair
of the
colorblind sunglasses that allow you to see the color and things like that. We've actually talked about getting a pair for his friend.
Those will only work for somebody that's red, green, or blue.
He's colorblind. Like he's fucked.
I am 100% colorblind. I see. I see just like a dog.
Like Kevin was blue-green colorblind.
Yep.
But he's like, remember the commercial with the Rocket Pops where the kid's like, the colors, Duke, the colors, and the dog goes, I'm colorblind, kid. Gonzo's that dog.
Yes.
I did not realize there were different types.
Yeah, Kevin's blue-green.
There's different stages of colorblindness.
Yeah, he has the worst one where he can't see shit.
Yep.
That would suck.
Man.
Well, and it's funny because everybody says that. Oh, that would suck not being able to see color.
Yeah, but you've never seen it.
I've never seen it, so I don't miss it, I guess.
Yeah.
So there was a story once of a town that they flipped their stoplights, and they started writing a whole bunch of tickets, and they all tended to be to colorblind people. And the colorblind people got together and they sued the place, and they all won. They had to flip them back, but they flipped them the opposite direction of what they should be. So if you're colorblind, you're fucked because you're like, well, this one is got to be red because it's lit, and that's.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't tell.
Saying that, when I first joined the Navy out in San Diego, Texas did not have
every flag in the Navy is color based.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm talking about driving. So Texas did not have green turn arrows at the time. Or I'm sorry, red turn arrows.
Oh.
We had green turn arrows.
So you just assumed they were green.
Yeah. And when I got to California, the first arrow I saw lit up that was green.
Oh God.
I almost got killed.
Oh God.
Yep.
I did not know that it was not a green. I thought it was supposed to be,
Was that in San Diego?
A red.
Last weekend, even we were driving, and I literally grabbed the dash. I'm like, it's red, because it was turned sideways.
Oh yeah.
So my dad was red green colorblind, and that's who taught me how to drive. And so he taught me. He was like, if the light on the top is lit, it's a red light. Yep. I was like, Daddy, I can see the colors. And he goes, okay, well then you're. I'm like, what do you do if it's sideways? It's the one on the left. And I was like, okay then. But I vividly remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I learned to drive. Is basically looking at that, and then got to California, and up at the top they actually have red arrows as well as the red dots. So when it was lit up, I thought it meant go.
So did you have to learn all the Navy flags by design and not by color?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Damn. It's a lot of flags. She said Gina said Dan had to learn how to deal with the colors on the flight line. Which those are places that are not colorblind friendly. They're not designed for that.
I wanted to be a network engineer or a computer engineer when I went into the
Good luck with the wires.
And well, I've been doing it for
how do you do
20-something years.
How do you do that?
So when you're like network cabling, everything
tone test everything.
Everything is done by pairs, and the number of twists in the cable is different for each set of wires. The blue.
You are a brilliant man. Do you know that?
Okay. Hey, it's still Gonzo.
Gosh.
Yeah, but I had to learn how to look at a cable and say, all right, the least number of twists is the brown pair. That's kind of how I just developed my skills to be able to do this. And then of course now we have the testers, and I can make sure everything was right. But in the Navy, they straight up looked at me when I was in boot camp and said, sorry, the rate that you signed up for, you can't go to because you're colorblind.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
The job I actually enlisted to do, they said, sorry. And maybe pick something else.
Jokes on them.
So growing up, watching all those movies where they were like, there was a bomb and the guys cut the red wire, Gonzo's like, I'd be fucked.
Oh, yeah, we blow up.
We die. We all die.
Unless we're just real lucky.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Oh. I couldn't imagine.
That's.
I mean, being born with it is different. Like, could you imagine becoming colorblind? Like, just tomorrow, all of a sudden, you can't.
So with COVID, I lost my sense of taste and smell, and I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, it was worse than the not being able to breathe, in my opinion. Because you've seen me, I like to eat. I enjoy food.
So that was the big thing with my dad, and my dad was not from COVID. He actually had throat cancer, and so he had radiation on his throat, and because of that, he has now in the last 3 years been able to, he can taste bitter and he can taste salt.
Yeah, but it's a man who put hot sauce on everything.
And he can't even have hot sauce anymore because it burns his throat. So, but like his entire diet, I mean, he also lost almost 200 pounds, but yeah, wouldn't recommend the radiation diet.
Mom's only 3 days. I was without it, and I was like, oh my God, if this doesn't go away, I'm done. So life's over. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it got really interesting because Joe will even tell you, our daughter, she's like, all of our gifts to him for like Christmas and his birthday, they were always like gift cards to his favorite restaurant, or they were always food related. And she was like, he can't taste any of this now. We have to come up with completely different gift ideas for Papa.
No one is understanding this whole thing. Gonzo is in a hobby that is like 90% color based.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's some pattern stuff, but like he can't go look at a table full of squams and go, oh, look at all the colors in the squams, or hog noses and see all the colors in the hog noses. He's like, look at that gray one. Look
It
at that
kind
gray
of makes
one.
me wonder, though.
He likes
makes
patterns.
me wonder, like, how many. Yes, the patterns. That's what draws me in. It makes me wonder, though, how many other people in the reptile hobby deal with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Because
said
it's
the
not
pattern.
an uncommon thing.
Correct, Katie, but you just mentioned the pattern. So most of the animals that I'm drawn to, I look for that pattern, which is kind of why the Bell's phase is so big on my list, because they breaks it down so I can see the patterns really well.
You know who would love the same kind of snakes that I love?
Who?
Gonzo.
Oh, Xanthics?
Because I like black and white snakes.
Yeah.
That's why Gonzo got a black
They're
dragon.
all Xanthics. What are you talking about?
Gonzo wants a black
all
dragon
the
because it's just
time.
one color and he's good.
He makes fun of me for it all the time.
High contrast, like in the guards and whatever. I look for something that's got a dark color versus a light color, so that I can see that change. Because otherwise, it just blends in. Like the lychees, when they're young, it's very hard for me to see anything other than just basically a blob. It looks like a piece of cork.
Just get you some California king snakes, and you'll see everything that everybody else is seeing. It's white and black snakes. You'll be good.
Yeah,
it'll be white and black banded, white and black striped. It'll all look the same to you and me.
I am good with that.
Yes.
I've never thought about it. I mean, because you come and we always talk about like with snakes, it's especially like if he was into ball pythons, he'd be fucked. I mean, that's all color. Like, yeah, there's pattern stuff, but there's always color added into that. People are always, look at all the oranges here. And look at
but like he said about the high contrast, you have that high contrast in some of those colors.
So, but that's the crappy thing with ball pythons is so many of them look the fucking same. Like to him, they were it's just a ball python.
But that is another reason why lizards
really
could be really good. Yeah, they look the same to me too, and I can see.
And you can see color.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me a xanthic ball python probably more than the next person, but yeah, the rest it's all the same.
Oh. So in like the 2 weeks where we kind of skipped over stuff, some stuff happened. Emily and Ed's new reptile zoo opened up up in Minnesota.
Sure.
I don't remember what state. It's in Minnesota. Snake Discovery, for anybody out there, if you watch Snake Discovery, Emily and Ed's new reptile zoo opened up, and seeing the pictures of it in that new place, it still looks fucking amazing. That place, I've got to make it up there to see it. Also, it's been 15 years since Steve Irwin died.
I know, it's hard to believe. I thought it was 16 years.
Well, this is 15, unless Nathan doesn't know what he's talking about. Is it 15 years? I mean, I was still in college. I think it was 2007.
I think it's 15. I've
been 2006.
Completely made it up.
2006, so whatever. Yeah, it'd be 15.
Yeah.
So
2006.
That was sad. Speaking of crocodiles and alligators, and let's see. Trying to go through and see what else we missed. Oh, Travis posted another weird ass spider that disappears on a. Obviously, this is another one where Gonzo be screwed. The spider just like blends right in with his stick, and he can't see any color. And
I have problems seeing those too, though.
like those
Just throwing that out there.
Like those. That's the thing. Gonzo,
No,
I'm assuming
I don't do well with those.
I'm
at
assuming
all.
you can't do those
Asshole.
3D puzzles where you stare at it. And
No,
then,
I can't.
I can't do them either. I'm not colorblind. I still can't do them. I've never seen a damn sailboat. Not once.
They make me have a headache.
There's no sailboat. Everybody's like, just bring it close to your face.
I've tried to do it with my glasses. I've tried to do it without my glasses, so maybe I could see an outline. Nothing. I'm horrible at those.
I can't do this. I don't know what it is. Another video that Nathan posted that I thought was freaking amazing, and it comes back to being reptile related. He posted a video of an orca at a some sort of marine aquarium park place, but the orca took a piece of the little fish and threw it up to the edge of the pool, and this bird comes down to get the fish, and the orca grabs the bird. So the
Orca wanted something different to eat.
orca set a trap for the bird, and he caught it. Alligators do the same things. Alligators and crocodiles that live in areas that have a lot of wading birds will take branches and sticks that the wading birds use to make their nest, and they'll put them on their nose, and they'll float right there on top. When the bird comes down to get the stick for its nest, they'll eat the bird. So I think people greatly underestimate the intelligence of predators. Like even prehistoric like ones like crocodiles, they're still extremely intelligent.
Mhm.
And just the idea of animals setting traps for other animals is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, an orca, if any animal was going to do it, I'd be least surprised about an orca.
Well, we talked about those guys eating the livers out of sharks. So.
Mhm.
Good Lord.
There was Zoo Miami did a surgery on a 17-year-old electric eel, which I thought was just crazy. Going through trying to figure out what else we missed. I know this is Chris Eaton's favorite part. Ryan Goslow shared some pictures of the little alligator that Ed and Emily have playing with a Jolly Ball in its new exhibit, the little Jolly Ball toys. All right, so my favorite video that got posted to our Facebook group.
This thing is so old, though.
It's still fucking hilarious.
Oh my God.
It's a woman wanting to walk down and play with horses. Victor posted this. It's a woman wanting to walk down and play with horses
That don't belong to her.
that don't belong to her. They're on the other side of a fence. And she gets closer, and you can hear her husband and somebody else off camera saying, should we tell her it's an electric fence? And the husband, like a good husband, says no. And she gets right down there.
You can only imagine how this video
She gets right down there,
Oh,
and
I
she goes
saw that
to
one.
reach out and touch the horse, and it shocks her, and she pisses
It
herself.
literally shocked the piss out of me.
Yeah, she
Oh,
literally
yeah.
pissed herself, and I almost pissed myself watching her have to walk back up the hill covered in piss because she touched the electric fence. It was fucking hilarious. I know that video's around. I think I've seen it before.
I have seen it
Oh, yeah,
before.
years ago. I think I saw it on MySpace.
But anyway, on MySpace.
Damn.
Now-
John Grant's
now
going,
who's
what's
showing
my
their page?
space? Oh, gosh.
Fucking MySpace. Oh, KD posted the bumblebee has officially been added to the
A
endangered species
specific
list.
type of bumblebee.
Yeah, not just generic, but it's a specific type. But Nathan shared it on his on his personal page, but he hadn't shared it in the group yet. So I went ahead and shared it in the group. I know it's not reptile related,
No, but it's still.
but it falls in the gumbo
I
category.
want to say I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to the Herpetoculture podcast earlier, and I want to say they said something about sulcatas being on the endangered species list. I think they are. I mean,
that would make sense for them, like in the wild. Like they're all over captivity, but
like Cresties, I think. I mean, they were thought to be extinct until like 20 years ago or whatever it was, and now, or at least in the wild. So I would imagine they're probably still on the endangered species list.
for in the wild, that would make
Yeah,
sense.
well, it's always in the wild. No one
Yes.
cares about how many are in
Yeah.
captivity.
The African spurred tortoise is endangered.
That's crazy.
So we need to find out if there's any paperwork we need to have.
No,
or-
we don't.
Okay.
You're good. There's no way.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
It's endangered, but it's they breed 5 trillion of those things a year in the United States. I think you're good.
Yeah.
How many sulcatas do you have, Gonzo?
Between Carl and I think we have 11.
Holy shit, that's a lot of. How big are
Oh, I love it.
Oh God, they're all 30 to 90 pounds.
they? Oh yeah, I do miss myself. That's one of
It's
the
like
things. I miss
Russell's
most.
backyard, man. He's got like 20 back there.
Oh, look, it's gonna be dangerous once we actually settle down and we get a house here with a big enough yard. I'm bringing them over, and I'm getting more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
I'll have a herd of redfoots at some point.
Victor made a
Please.
comment about how he could see James and Robert doing this, and I know that our boys are smarter
Then let
than
you
that
shock yourself.
husband in that video.
Oh, no,
I
I'd,
grew
fucking,
up on a farm.
I'd
Yeah.
fucking let you shock yourself.
I look for anytime I walk up to a fence just out of habit,
Always,
I'm looking for insulators.
yeah,
Oh,
I do the same.
No,
I worked,
no
at, I worked at a
insulators, we're
zoo.
good.
I worked at a zoo. We had electric fences all around like big predators.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
no,
Rachel and I are also smart enough not to walk up to a fence.
Yeah.
don't randomly walk up to somebody's horses and go, let me pet these.
I know. They're not yours. Don't touch them.
One thing, so this kind of involves all y'all. So this is the second Conroe in a row where we have done an auction. First Conroe, so the first auction was last Conroe. It went really well. We raised $17,500. I think.
Yeah, just over
17,500.
17,000.
I know y'all had one of your art pieces in the last Conroe auction, and I forget how much it went for, but I think it went pretty well. The art stuff tends to go pretty well. Robert, you had one, and this one, it got bought by JT Tomlinson
For $600.
for $600, and then he put it back in, and it got bought again
For $450.
400. Yep.
Yeah, was it Sean that got it the second time?
No, I don't know who that guy was. He introduced himself to me, but I don't know him.
So there were actually, it wasn't just vendors this time around. Like
Mhm.
some of the guests
Yeah.
stuck around.
Yeah.
And
Like, hey, I'll take any money.
Well,
was
that guy
like-
had come by and looked at it and asked me how much it was, and I told him I was putting in the auction tonight. Oh, there's an auction? And he was the one bidding against JT
Oh,
at
really?
first. And then he realized, okay, JT's not going to let me win this. So he took it, and then JT was like, you know what? Let's donate it back, auction it off again, and I'm going to start it at 100.
Well, that the auction, the reason they chose to do this auction was because of the hurricanes that had recently hit Louisiana, which affected a lot of our herps family. I'm interested to see how many of our herps people are affected by this one. I know that we lost power, but I don't know how many have lost power long term, and how many have gotten flooding. But a lot of this was to raise more money for the Herps Family Foundation, and through everything that got put in there, we raised 14 or 12. What was it, Katie? 12,000. So 17,500 in the last one.
It was just under 12,000.
Just under 12,000 in this one, and that's just two shows. I mean, it's a lot of money that goes towards, and it's straight towards people that need it.
Mhm.
If they had damage to their homes and flooding, and they need all that kind of stuff. I'm always glad we can do that. I'd say I've enjoyed both auctions. I do. I just need people to shut the hell up while it's happening.
Yes.
That's the only thing.
That would be
Like-
so nice.
We don't have very good auction etiquette
No.
as far as
No.
like I
Well,
left.
so
I
the
left the
problem
room.
is-
It was
Yeah, I
too
finally had
loud
to
for
leave.
me.
It was
I
too
couldn't
much.
do it. I knew we
After a
didn't
long
have
day
the
of the
money.
show,
Like I just couldn't do it.
So the
anymore.
problem is that it's directly after the show. So we spent all day at the show separated from each other, and then we get into a room together and we want to talk. But that's the only time we can do the auction.
mhm.
So that's the only problem. Now I did get up and leave, and here's what happened. So I bid on a couple things. Focus Cube had a small cage that was in the auction, and I was like, I'm gonna bid. I had $100. Katie gave me $100. I got my allowance early. I had $100 cash. I was like, all right, as long as I'm gonna bid on.
But James's auction strategy is go straight to 100. 100.
Yeah,
And
I figure I wasn't gonna win anyways.
Yeah.
So
but
I
you ran that price up on a lot of
I
stuff.
threw 100 up on that, and then it quickly got outbid, and then Corey Martin won it. I was like, I cussed out Corey Martin, and I assumed
You are so lucky she puts up with your shit.
I love Corey. She's an amazing person. But I figured she's gonna put green trees, and then just the noise and everything. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I gotta get out of here. I come back in, and sitting in my chair is that cage. And I look at Corey. I'm like, what the hell is this doing in my chair? And she just looked at me. I was like, is it mine? She goes, yeah. And then I found out John Grant bought it from Corey,
These people love you more than I do.
and then gave
I
it
just
to me
want
as
you
a
to know
present.
that.
And so I ended up with it, and it's a fucking awesome little cage from Focus Cube. So at that point, my mind shifted to what am I going to put in it? Because it had a
it's
little.
literally all he talked about all night.
Luckily, he did not win anything. Well, I take that back. He won things for me in the auction that were.
got some
It
jewelry.
was jewelry. It was fabulous.
It was a silent auction. Yeah. So there were little perches in it. So I was like, I need something that climbs. And the problem is it's a great enclosure for a squam. For anybody that didn't know what a squam, it's a variable bush viper. I
Sounds right.
think that's right. They come in a million colors. Gonzo wouldn't know, but they do. They come in a million different colors.
I'm gonna have to Google it because I don't know what it looks like.
You've seen them, I promise. They come
I know,
in
but
greens
I'm
and
gonna need to
blues and
Google it
reds.
because I don't know.
But again, I can't own that here. And that
Why? Like
They're
it's not
venomous.
allowed in.
venomous. It's a
Oh,
variable
you
bush viper.
cannot have that in this house.
Oh, I will at some point. They're pretty. But so that one I'm like,
Rachel
okay, what I'm
wants
gonna do.
them.
The one thing I was gonna
There's the line. That's right.
I was gonna
I'm just gonna I'm gonna make us t-shirts with just a line on it to wear on
There we go.
Herps weekends for our husbands, Talena.
there was
All the
one
first
snake.
bitches are gonna wear a line one day.
There was one snake in the auction that was semi-arboreal. Michael Pinnell from Python and the Pear Tree had a wonderful little, I'm going to call her an IJ, but a pop wind carpet python. And so I bid $100 on it, and one fucking person outbid me. Goddamn Lily from No Drama Llama.
And then sat there and held it. Look how nice it is.
Oh.
Look at this in front of you the whole time.
It was great.
And then she got it for like 150. She goes, I'll sell it to you for 175. I'm like, I'm not fucking buying it for 175. I had it for 100 until you put your fucking hand up. So I ended up leaving without a snake. So all night I'm like, what am I going to put in this? I thought about it. And then on Michael Pinnell's table, he had this beautiful little striped African house snake that I was like, I've always wanted to get into them. And this was a chance. I had a little cage, little snake, and it's coming from Michael's. Like, I'm gonna do this. So I bought this awesome little, like olive colored African house snake with a little yellow stripe on it. And I have this amazing little cage downstairs set up with fake plants because we stopped at Michael's on the way home to get fake plants for it. And it's got dirt and everything. And so I was excited. That's what I got for this weekend. I got that. That's running out. That was fun. You didn't come home with any animals.
That's a lie.
Oh fuck!
I was
No,
gonna
you
say,
came home
yes,
with a
you
Doomless
did.
boa.
Because I laughed
No, but
when
that
I
Doomless boa was
saw it
already-
in the bag, and I was like, "Hey, so much for not coming
No,
home with anything."
But didn't you already know you were getting that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, he didn't come home with anything that he didn't plan on getting
Yeah.
before he got there.
We actually came home with less animals because we took 3 ball pythons and the milk snake and sold them all.
There you
Built the
go.
ball pythons.
John Grant bought them.
Ah, cool,
Bought them from Rachel
sweet.
Nice.
Sunday afternoon. That's what I told her. I said, those are not coming home. We've been feeding them for like 9 months.
Time
Sell
for them to
them.
go.
There you go.
Well, it was the freeze just screwed everything up. They were like 2 weeks old when the freeze happened and they didn't want to eat.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So that's all. I got.
Yeah, we're getting late.
That's it. It's getting
We
late.
are.
It's getting time for dinner.
I think Gonzo stepped away for a moment, but I don't know if he's.
I heard his
I heard it going
Beaver
off. I didn't know. If,
Off again. Yeah, he's trying to check his radio right now.
Okay.
So he's me and Brandy right now.
Yes, Gonzo is a volunteer fireman, which is more than I would do. If any of y'all are on fire, you better find somebody else. I don't deal with running into a fire. I always tell my kids when we're at school, like if anything happens, just run with me. I'm not
I
protecting.
tell my babies if they see me running, they better go because Ms. Lewis does
I can't
not
promise I'll
run.
protect
So
anybody,
there
but I
is
will
an
find a way out.
emergency. I'm like, if you see me running, it is an emergency.
Oh, here you go. If anyone has about a 2-year-old corn snake, how much does it weigh? Making sure mine's at a healthy weight.
Oh, jeez.
And someone actually put up a chart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the chart only works if you feed it a certain it's
Right.
not. It's not like it's. I want to say it's not science. It is kind of science, but it's not science. I mean,
It makes me feel like a bad pet parent when I don't weigh my stuff.
That's
no,
cool.
it shouldn't.
Look, John Lehman
But
just
that's
put
what
up a
I'm
post.
saying. Like, it makes me feel
Like-
bad, and I should not. It's like when we mom shame people.
hmm
It's not okay.
It is.
John Lehman just put up a post. For people who don't know, he's the owner of Morph Market.
Yes.
We're about to launch a new system which allows buyers to build a reputation over time that demonstrates to sellers that they are serious when they send inquiries. It consists of levels 1, 2, 3, and up. What should we call this? Buyer levels, buyer rep, buyer history, Morph Market experience, etc. But it's like it actually gives the buyer
Oh, fuck
a
yeah.
rating that you can see as the seller.
I think John Grant's ears were burning because we were talking about him earlier.
Yep.
Talena, do y'all ever sell on Morph Market?
Do we on Morph Market? No.
Yeah.
Do y'all just sell at shows?
Yes, ma'am.
Very cool.
We have done very little online sales. Now, once things start to change, I'm sorry, it's getting a little loud.
No, you're
fine.
okay. You're fine.
But once things start to change and grow more for us, we may look at doing some online sales. I know I personally get a little nervous with online sales.
I know that Morph Market has made me feel much better about selling things online just because it's a centralized location. And the idea of being able to rate buyers means that now that takes a little bit off of you as a seller. You don't have to be like, can I trust this person? And also, I mean, so many tire kickers online when you post an animal. I saw one
Tire
earlier.
kickers. I don't know that I've ever heard
Tire-
that phrase before.
Tire kickers?
I understand the phrase and where you're going with it, but I don't think I've ever heard it before.
Have you
Wow.
never?
Well, now
I don't know.
you also have to realize though, is when it comes to shipping, I look at things a lot differently because I work at UPS.
Oh.
That's my day job. And I've seen vendors that have shipped animals at crazy times a year. And so 1 January, our air came in late because of weather conditions. And so everybody at work knows I breed reptiles. So they'll bring me boxes.
Sorry,
And
I want to interrupt you for just a minute. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to take off. We got a brush fire.
Be safe.
One of the things that I wanted to throw out there for your next giveaway, Crafty Gargoyles wants to donate one of our Mandelas.
Oh, awesome.
Winner can get with us to pick out a design, and we'll get that out to him.
Oh, that's so
I'll
cool.
get with you on
Awesome.
that and plan that for when we have a month where we can do that.
January might be our next available month.
That's fine.
But we will do that.
But
That's awesome.
Be safe.
Yes.
But so, it was January, it's freezing cold, and they bring in this box. Luckily, it had a phone number on it. I called the guy and I said, hey, you have a reptile shipment. It came in late. Would you be willing to pick it up? Of course, the guy's like, yeah, sure, of course. And he said, is it okay? And I said, I'm a reptile breeder, and if it's okay with you, I can open the box, I can check it. So, of course, he's like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, it's barely moving. But it's moving. And so the guy comes in and says, hey, I'm supposed to talk to Talena. They come, they get me. And, of course, it had been just about anybody else there, this would not have happened. But I come walking out, and the guy's looking at me. I reach under my clothing, and I pull out, a bag with his animal in it, going, okay, it's warming up now. It's moving around. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
But knowing what I know when it comes to shipping companies, that makes me nervous.
Yeah. Well, and no good breeder should be shipping in the winter months like that, or in really hot summer months.
Just a black dragon in January.
No. Yeah, there's a reason that people wait, and a good breeder will hold your animal for 2 or 3 months.
Oh yeah.
To get to that shipping window.
But I mean, I guess it's just stuff like that makes me nervous. Is
And rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, your carrier doesn't know anything about the animal. Your driver, a lot of times, is not going to know anything about the animal.
Oh, I didn't tell you the other day. I went and picked up some corn snakes the other day from FedEx, and the young lady who went and got them out of the back for me comes out and she got the box upside down. Oh, she's like, oh, sorry. And she turns it over real fast. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure those 15 corn snakes appreciated you flipping it over. She goes, oh, you should see what it does on our belts and stuff in the sorting
that makes
facility.
me hurt.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, all of our boxes go down chutes and slides and conveyor belts. And
that's where it comes also down to packing. Make sure you pack that stuff as tight as possible.
The hell's John Grant talking about? Phase 22 have changed the game shipping wise.
Oh, phase 22. Those are they're a heating or cooling pack.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a liquid. When you cool it down, it turns into a solid, and it actually holds the temperature constant.
Oh, that one whatever that one was Dallas used or Amanda used to ship last week. It was still. I threw it in the seat of my truck when I got those snakes out, and the next day I was cleaning out my truck and I picked it up and I was like, "Holy shit, this thing's still cold."
It says those phase 22 packs will stay cool for a long time. They're really good. He is right.
Yeah,
that's the one time John Grant was right. I won't say it again.
We're coming up on 2 hours.
We have talked about shipping, but I think we want to grow a little bit more before we start doing that.
Yeah, and you're also talking about when y'all get into your lychee shipping $1,000, $2,000 animals.
Yeah,
so that is scary.
Yeah.
All right, so we are up on 2 hours. Talena, thank you very much for coming on, and I'm looking forward to being able to do the giveaway. And I've got to get some pictures of your art on our Facebook page. People need to see it's hard to explain what they look like without seeing them.
They have it posted on their site.
I know. I'm gonna steal pictures from
them. You're good at that.
Well, if there's anything particular you would like a picture of, let me know. I don't know offhand what his nephew has uploaded to our pages. If you do want some that are a little more reptile oriented, like I said, I've got the rock iguana that I designed. I've got a few others that we have. I've got the leopard gecko.
The beta was amazing. I've seen the beta before, and the beta is an amazing one.
Thank you.
I love
but
the
yeah,
nautical stuff.
just let me know what you want a picture of, and I'll work on getting that for you if you need it.
Sweet.
Thank you guys for having us. It's,
absolutely.
Even though G had to run off on us, but
Gomez.
Good
Gomez had to run away.
No.
Yeah, Gomez had to go.
Oh, no.
Just gonna start
Hey,
calling
we
him
gotta have
Gomez.
some
No, you are
into a
not.
Fire, so.
Oh,
Absolutely.
every show I'm just gonna, hey Gomez, how's it going?
You're such an ass.
I'm gonna pay to get a name tag made for him that just says Gomez on it.
Should have Talena make it.
Yeah, I told him to make
Good
it.
luck. Try putting it upside down. He hates making name tags for Bart.
I bet because Bart's are all upside down.
Are they really?
His
Yeah.
name
Bart
is,
does it
yeah.
on purpose.
Yeah,
That's funny.
like everything's right except his
Except for the
name.
name.
Yeah.
Who's I saw someone's their name. What does Todd say?
Arch nemesis.
Arch
Nemesis.
yeah.
That's right.
That's because of me. And if you look real close at his name tags, it actually says Talena's arch nemesis.
That's
Oh, I haven't seen
never
that. I
noticed
haven't
that.
been that close, I guess.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, you
That's-
gotta look real close on that one. But
Well, then that means I have to get close to Todd.
No.
numerous shows harassing the crap out of me for whatever reason. I'm such a nice person all the time.
Not gonna lie though, I was totally
Horrified by the mascot.
slightly scared of you
Oh.
when I first met you. I was like, feisty things come in small packages, and Talena looks like she could fuck somebody up. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I won't even lie to you. I am one of the nicest people.
Oh, absolutely, you are. I freaking love both of you now. But
You
it was
definitely are.
funny.
Whatever you want me to say, Talena, you definitely are. Please don't be mad.
But I will not deny I'm one of the biggest bitches you will ever get.
Some of the
And-
best people are. It works out.
Before we go, I do want to mention. I know Robert wants to go, but I do want to mention Todd's mascot this weekend.
It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I freaking loved
Fucking
it.
horrifying.
Hey, that thing we have figured out is 2 Talenas tall.
Talena's
For
tall.
everybody to know, it is a giant like hog nose. I guess it's a hog nose or just a
It's-
random snake.
No.
It's just a general. It's,
It's,
General's-
yeah.
but it's got.
I think you're the only person who thinks it's scary.
No, who was it? There was someone's little kid looked
There
at
was
that
a
and
few
was
little kids.
or freaked out by it.
Oh, little kids are often
That's
freaked
what I'm
out by
saying.
costumes.
That's what I'm saying. It's
though.
not scary to an adult, but it is definitely like a. Anyways,
I
it
loved
stands like 7 foot tall.
I have a
It looks
selfie
like a
with it.
snake that stole the wardrobe from Mr. Peanut. It's got a
Yes.
cane and a
It's
top coat
fantastic.
hat.
And it's Monty the Python. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's still horrifying. Anyways, Talena, if people want to get a hold of y'all and check out, I know we talked about it earlier, but check out your artwork. What is the best way they can do that?
Probably Facebook Messenger or our email, which is design@craftygargoyles.com.
Design at craftygargoyles.com. Or you can find them at Crafty Gargoyles on Facebook.
Yes.
And Robert, if they want to get a hold of you,
www. dot
LSReptileRex.com.
and Los Reptile Rex Facebook, Instagram,
yeah. And
TikTok.
and pay attention to when
Are you on TikTok?
he is on TikTok.
I did not. I don't have a TikTok, so
Oh, I've got something I gotta give you before you leave.
I don't do any of that.
Just reminded me.
James, if people want to get a hold of you,
Well, pay attention to Robert's stuff because they're going to be making a Facebook page for all the signs and all
Mhm.
their artwork.
It'll
Which
be
also
well,
so between
yeah.
Talena and Robert, you can deck out your snake room with
cool
amazing,
Christmas presents.
Yes,
too.
so great
yes.
Christmas present options.
Yes.
Both of them.
Well,
are
All right,
great.
James.
Robert, do you actually use your airbrush?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna start using it more. Well, I won't. Rachel will, but yeah, and we use it
I
a
was
little.
curious. He said, "Hey, they got this great deal. I went, I bought it. I had been using it and using it." He says, "Yeah, mine's still in the box."
Yeah, it was bought for his
It was
daughter.
bought for Lily.
Yeah, bought it for Lily to use, and then I don't even think she knows how to use it.
That's hilarious.
So I've used it more than anybody for sure.
If anybody wants to get a hold of me, it's simply_serpents on Instagram or simply serpents on Facebook, or the podcast is the Reptile Gumbo podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and at gmail.com. Like I said, we've got some interesting things coming up for the next month and a half. October, it's going to be really interesting, I promise. Don't forget to check out our giveaway again for this month, which is 2 light bulbs from VivTech. All you got to do is go to our Facebook page and comment, answer the question that is posted on the post that is pinned at the top of the page, and get entered. I was very upset that not many people entered in for last month's giveaway. I thought it was a great giveaway. Those hooks are amazing. But get there, win your VivTech light bulbs, and then in a few months, you can also win a Mandela from Crafty Gargoyles, which will be awesome. And I'm very upset that I can't enter for that one. But thank you very much.
I know we find like the coolest stuff to give away, and
And we
none of
can't
us
get
are
it?
eligible.
I know. But tell Gonzo, thank you, and tell Gomez, thank you for coming on.
Definitely.
We will see y'all at Beaumont.
Yes, ma'am. Sir.
Ma'am,
Ah,
ma'am, sir,
ah.
ma'am, sir, ma'am, sir, ma'am, sir.
I love it. It's because I'm the important one.
But we look forward to seeing y'all there. Anybody that's watching, thanks for watching this. If you're listening later on, thanks for listening to this.
Absolutely.
Also, feel free to reach out to us and give us ideas for who you'd like to hear from. If there's a breeder that you want to hear from, if there's someone, an artist, anything, let us know. It makes it much easier if I have a list of people to try and reach out to.
You feel like you have something to add to the show.
Yeah, maybe you should be a guest.
Yeah. Argue for it and let me know. It won't take much of an argument. We got to fill a lot of spaces.
That's it.
So that is it for us. Good night, everybody. Talk to y'all next week.